should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hello, good morning, all my lovely family members. How are you guys doing today? It's Halloween. Happy Halloween. Good morning, Jenny, Jen, Eek, Paranormal, Abellis, Anders, Joy, Trixie. Good morning, good morning. It's good to see you all here. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have the best Halloween you ever had in your whole entire lives. Today, we're going to talk about the screen killings. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but I remember when this happened. And I've always found this case really interesting. I'm going to work on trying to do a movie. I've got to see, I got to work on trying to figure it out. But if I do, it'll be on Discord. So if anybody has the Discord link, drop that. And if I do a movie today, if I'm able to figure it out and do it, it'll be on Discord, and I'll make a post that I'm going to do the movie, an hour or so before, so that y'all can join me to watch the movie. So, excuse me. This is from Explore With Us, or EWU. They have really good like body cam footage and interrogations and things like that. So it's a great channel. If you would give them a like and subscribe. I'm not even subscribed on this channel. They put out like really awesome stuff. They have lots of, like I said, body cam footage. It's all really interesting. They always have really good stuff. So this is going to tell us about the screen killings, and he's going to get us basically right into it. It's this video is titled "A 16-Year-Old Killer's Video Diary Documentary." This is some videos he made before the killing, but EWU is going to kind of explain it to us.
These videotapes would first appear ordinary to the unsuspecting eye. However, as you continue to watch, it becomes abundantly clear that something is wrong.
So we're gonna kill her and her friends, and we're gonna keep moving on. I heard some news about Kirsten. She's gonna be home alone from 6 to 7. So we might kill her, then drive over to Cassie's thing and scare the shit out of them, then kill them one by one.
Only small snippets of the videotapes filmed by teen killers Brian Draper and Tori Adamczyk have been available to the public until now.
This is going to be the Halloween special that we're doing for today because it's Halloween. And again, I hope you guys have the best Halloween ever. The neighbor just gave our kids some candy, and I'm going to take them into town when their dad gets off work. So yeah, I hope you guys have the best day ever.
The majority of the following footage has never been seen before. These are the lost tapes of the screen.
You remember it, Trixie? Yeah.
Police Deputy Karen Hatch arrived at a residence on Whispering Cliffs Drive in Pocatello, Idaho. The home belonged to Allison and Frank Contreras, who had recently returned from a weekend trip. Their 13-year-old daughter, Kelsey Contreras, discovered her cousin, Cassie Jo Stoddard, lying deceased on the family's living room floor.
Hello, Cassie.
Allison immediately called 911.
Okay, what's going on?
Somebody looks dead on my side. Oh my God, it's my cousin's daughter. I need an ambulance.
Let me get you order medical. Stay on the line.
Oh God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Get everybody out. There's a girl dead on my floor.
Honey, is she breathing?
No, she isn't. She's cold. Oh my God.
She's cold as a cut?
She's cold.
Okay, do you want to start CPR?
Her fingers are blue.
Good morning, True Crime Addict. It's good to see you here. Thank you for being here with us today.
Okay, how old is she?
She's 16, 17. And her mom just drove up here. She's dead.
Okay, hon, we're going to get them coming, okay?
Oh my God, okay.
Cassie's body was in a state of lividity.
Could you imagine being like your your cousin just drove up and y'all just got back from vacation and you just walked in your house and you see your cousin's dead child, a member of your family, dead on the floor, and her mother is about to walk in the door. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
She was face up, wearing star-studded yellow pajama pants and a white spaghetti-strap tank top. Her face fell to the right and her arms were raised over her head, elbows slightly bent. Most notably, she was covered in multiple stab wounds. The two most observable were at the center of her chest and on her left leg. Cassie was a well-rounded, trustworthy, and responsible 16-year-old girl. She was shy and loved music and art, and funny, with a great sense of humor. She performed well in school and aspired to be an attorney. Responsible as Cassie was, her aunt and uncle entrusted her with the task of watching over their home for the weekend. She agreed to help. Cassie's mother, Anna Stoddard, dropped her off to house sit, watching as she left their white Jeep Cherokee, walked up to the front door, and entered the home before driving away. This would be the last time she saw her daughter alive. Brian Lee Draper was a 16-year-old junior at Pocatello High School. He loved horror movies and played the drums.
I've always wanted to make a mark on the world myself, and this is a good way to do it.
Tori Michael Adamczyk, also a 16-year-old junior at Pocatello High School, lined his locker with horror movie posters and aspired to be a filmmaker.
For all you FBI agents watching this, you weren't quick enough.
The two developed a close friendship, one that would ultimately foster their dark, violent tendencies.
What we're supposed to happen tonight, so hopefully nothing will go wrong.
Most others were unaware of the boy's nature.
Can we imagine if these two boys had not met, that these girls, can you imagine these girls might still be alive if these two boys had not ever met? And if just to put it out there, I'm doing this one because it's related to the movie Scream. And since I would get in trouble and get a copyright strike for playing a movie, I figured this would be the next best thing.
Some would comment on how friendly and happy Draper seemed, not knowing the aspects of Draper's personality that worshiped the perpetrators of the Columbine massacre, and was planning on executing a similar attack on Pocatello High School. Adamczyk.
I've got an interview from him that's 17 years after the incident. So if we have time today, we're going to do that one too. So it would be after 17 years since they've been in prison, or since it happened, what their thoughts are and what they say now.
Equally disturbed, shared in these dark interests, though not nearly as interested in Columbine. While Draper outwardly appeared more innocent, it was reported that others knew something about Adamczyk was off. Looking for pleasure and fame, the two decided they would chronicle their journey to murdering someone exactly as the killers had in the horror movie Scream. Ultimately, they developed a plan to murder their friend, Cassie Jo Stoddard. Immediately preceding the murder, Draper and Adamczyk parked down the street from the Contreras' home and stepped out of Adamczyk's car. They retrieved a soccer bag containing 2 sets of gloves, 2 long-sleeved black shirts, 4 knives, 2 masks, and a pair of work boots from the trunk. Draper handed Adamczyk a knife and took one himself before the two proceeded to walk toward the home with a singular goal in mind. They would terrorize and slaughter their 2 unsuspecting friends, Cassie and Matt. Earlier that night, the two had visited and watched a movie with the couple. Draper made an excuse to go down into the basement of the home, where he unlocked a door leading into the garage, preparing for the events to come. When the two would re-enter hours later, they cut the lights using an electrical panel conveniently located in the basement. Draper broke 2 ashtrays on the stairway in an attempt to lure Cassie downstairs.
Oh, thank you, Abellis. That was a sweet thing to say. I'm glad that you're here and you're here to watch it. Thank you.
Identify the source of the noise. After failing, they decided to wait for Matt to leave with the intention of attacking Cassie once she was alone. It was not long before she was.
Eek, because they just wanted to leave their mark on the world like Columbine, and they just wanted to do it, I guess.
Adamczyk called Matt and learned his mother would soon pick him up.
Yeah, we're going to watch that next.
Cassie, frightened following the several odd occurrences of the night, asked if Matt could stay with her. Matt's mother refused, offering for Cassie to spend the night with them instead. Cassie, ever so responsible, chose to stay to follow through on her commitment to watch the house and the family's dogs. Following Matt's departure, Draper and Adamczyk dressed in their long-sleeved black shirts and gloves and donning red and white horror movie masks, snuck upstairs, after which Draper closed the door, hoping again to prompt Cassie to check on the noise. Attempting to lure her to no avail, the two lost their patience and approached her in the living room. Whether Draper or Adamczyk struck Cassie first, they each plunged their knives repeatedly into her chest, neck, trunk, and limbs. In total, she suffered a reported 30 stab wounds.
True crime, I do believe it was 2006.
Cassie Jo Stoddard took her final breath that night, September 22nd, 2006.
Oh,
Later, Draper shared with investigators that her scream was unlike any he had heard in the horror movies he loved. He said it was real. Timestamps on the tapes run from March 2006 to September 22nd, 2006, the very night of the murder, revealing all of their planning leading up to that horrific night. Draper starts to narrate their immediate plan. The two are vlogging their trip to another friend's house so they can see if she's home alone, so they can kill her.
We're going for a high death count.
We're not going not to get caught, Ryan. If we're going for guns, we're just going to end it.
The first segment of the vlog clearly indicates that Draper and Adamczyk desire a high death count. This is consistent with public knowledge listing that fame motivated Stoddard's murder.
We're just going to grab the guns and get out of there, kill everybody and leave.
We're going to make history. We're going to make history.
Aside from ostensibly sadistic motives, fame as primary motive supports the idea that Draper and Adamczyk were highly narcissistic.
For all you FBI agents watching this, you weren't quick enough.
You weren't quick enough and you weren't smart enough. And we're going over today to Dixon's house. We're going to go snoop around over there and try to see if she's home alone or not. And if she's home alone, splat! She did.
Don't figure give her into this, Brian.
I'm not thinking of it.
Adamczyk's reprimand of Draper's humor injection during the filming, plus Draper's quick deference, might reflect that Brian was overly submissive to Adamczyk. A subtle power dynamic characterizes Draper and Adamczyk's relationship, but it's unclear who holds more influence over the other. As we watch their plan unfold, consider which party played the most significant role in determining Cassie's fate.
Ika, I'm sorry that it happened on your birthday in 2006. That sucks. Mine is right after this. Mine was 8 days after this happened. And that was the year after I graduated.
Yep. People will die.
A lot of them are, Joy. Good morning, Zaya.
Memories will fade. I wonder what movie you got that from, Brian.
Myself. That was for myself.
No wonder it was so lame.
Okay, we're on our way, and I'll let you stay tuned. We're almost there. Dixon's house. It's clear out there in the pasture. We've already snooped around her house a couple times. She's not home, so we're gonna go to the church over there, and we're gonna call a girl and a guy named Cassie and Matt. They're our friends, but we have to make sacrifices. So I feel tonight it is the night, and I feel really weird. It's happened stomach and stuff, and I feel like I want to kill somebody. I know that's not normal, but what the hell?
I feel we need to break away from normal life.
How bright is this light?
Because, let's say it this way. Parents, along with their parents, and so on, taught them God, Jesus, the whole bullshit line. I'm sure you guys believe in God as well. I realized when I was in 7th grade, you don't believe in Santa Claus or vampires or werewolves. They're used to metaphor not to let they teach their kids back in the 1800s. I learned this in English class about telling their kids that.
Good morning, Keister, and thank you for being here. Yeah, it's scary, and these red rummers, they mimic the other red rummers.
You can't go outside or a vampire get you, just to make their kids stay and do what they want to do. God is basically the same way.
Yep.
Trying to get people to do good, or else, so-called, you go to hell.
And we're obviously going to hell if it's real, but you know, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Adamchik's family members and teachers reported that he struggled with critical thinking, but here he demonstrates advanced comprehension and thought surrounding complex topics. The psychological insight gleaned from the message about how allegories and religious beliefs were invented by parents so that parents could control their kids suggests that control is a very salient concept for Adamchik. And given the boys' apparent antisocial tendencies, which includes being oppositional, they perhaps felt that they could rebel. The boys rebelled against their perceived external reality by doing exactly the opposite as they best knew how. Not only did they refuse to believe in God or any associated concepts, both having grown up in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but also they did just what they seemed to gain pleasure from, killing.
It's not real.
Have y'all ever heard about the FLDS, the Fellowship of Latter-day Saints? If you have, let me know in the comments. That is a whole nother thing we should dive into one day. That is not all, of course, not everybody in a religion is bad, but there's some really interesting things going on there.
It's so blatantly obvious it's not real, but
people believe it because their parents teach them, and so it's so hard for them to let go of it because they've been taught their whole life.
Yeah, I know.
But fucking what the point I'm making is,
what's that mean?
Yeah, not the Mormons in particular, but like, the ones that live on the compound and wear the prairie skirts and things like that. That's what I'm talking about.
We are also taught that things like killing people and other thing is wrong. The only thing that it's wrong about is because
I make and wear prairie skirts. So like, it's not, prairie skirts in general is not the thing. It's just, some of their beliefs. And my issue is the prophet, like following one man that you believe talks to God could be bad because that man could lead you astray, like we saw with Warren Jeffs. I don't know if you've ever heard of Warren Jeffs, but if you haven't, you should look into that.
It's breaking the law, and the law is only wrong. The law
natural selection, dude.
Because
natural selection. That's all I gotta say.
There should be no law against killing people. I know it's a wrong thing, but hell, you restrict somebody from it, they're gonna want it more.
Exactly.
And that's gonna be like fate. That's gonna seal their fate right there. When he admitted he knew it was wrong, and this video is premeditation. I mean, all of it's not good.
Goodbye, camera.
When Draper says that it's blatantly obvious that it's not real, he laughs.
Keister, I hope you're okay, love.
Blatantly obvious it's not real, but
given that the statement was not actually funny, he may giggle or laugh as a learned response to discomfort or cognitive dissonance. Laughter makes us comfortable when an individual detects inconsistencies in his internal world. For example, two logically incompatible thoughts like, I'm doing the right thing, and society or law says murder is wrong. One mechanism posited by some classical social psychologists is that dissonance reduction is motivational. According to Festinger's cognitive dissonance theory, cognitive dissonance is an unpleasant experience, and efforts to harmonize competing thoughts or thought behavior inconsistencies include conscious efforts to reconcile such dissonance.
My friend's too pussy to go investigate. Turn here.
Too smart.
Why are you turning there, dude? Okay. Now we're gonna go over to Cassie and Matt's house. If they're home alone, we're gonna.
Cassie's house, Matt is there.
Matt is there. Sorry. We're gonna go. We're gonna knock on the door. We'll see who's there.
Wow, Bella.
We'll see if the parents are home or not. If they're home alone, we will leave our way, and then we will come back in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
We'll sneak in through the door because chances are they're probably in Cassie's room. So we'll sneak in the front door. We'll make a noise outside, and Matt will come out, investigate, kill him, and it will scare the shit out of Cassie. Okay? Well,
Sounds like fun.
we'll stay tuned. We found our victim, and sad as it may be, she's our friend. But you know what? We all have to make sacrifices. Our first victim is going to be Cassie Stoddard and her
God,
friends.
turn your brights off,
Well,
asshole.
yeah, we'll find out if she has friends over. She's going to be alone in a big, dark house out in the middle of nowhere.
Their intention to terrify Cassie suggests this murder might have been more personal than their desire to become world-class killers. Draper seems to express particularly
Pete,
strong
no, you're
malice
not.
toward Cassie,
Love.
who he later admitted to having an unrequited crush on.
How perfect can you get? I mean, like, holy shit, dude.
I'm horny just thinking about it.
Hell yeah. So we're going to fucking kill her and her friends, and we're going to keep moving on. I heard some news about Kirsten. She's going to be home alone from 6 to 7. So we might kill her, then drive over to Cassie's thing, and scare the shit out of them, and kill them one by fucking one.
I mean, and I'm just sitting here watching this and thinking about, they have no idea what they're really going to do. And then once they started it, they finished it. They couldn't just start it and then not finish it. Like, this is insane. I wish that they understood what they were going to do, because I really don't think they had a good grasp on the aftermath.
Hell yeah.
Why 1 by 1? Why can't it be a
2 by 2 and 3 by 3? Because we got to keep it classy. So yeah,
Classy.
it's going to be extra fun.
You're evil.
Yes, I am. So are you?
No,
We're
evil
both
is
evil.
an expression of God. That was another test you failed.
Another display of Tori's apparent dominance over Brian. Tori tests Brian. Apparently, Tori wanted the boys to steer clear of any spiritual concept, even ones that connote evil, such as hell or Satan.
Evil is not an expression of God.
Yes, it
It's
is.
bullshit. You know it.
Evil of origin is a follower of fucking Satan.
There is no
Satan
Satan.
real? Then shut up.
Then how are we supposed to express ourselves?
Good and bad.
We're bad.
We're bad.
That sounds so shitty.
We're evil. That's not even shittier.
We're not, okay? They were sick psychopaths that get pleasure of killing other people.
That sounds good, baby.
We're gonna go down in history. We're gonna be just like Scream, except real life terms.
That
We're gonna
sounds
be
good,
murderers.
baby.
Like,
I was thinking the same thing. Like, they have a car. Like, what if they didn't have a car and couldn't just drive around? Again, another stick in the road, so to speak. Keister said these boys wouldn't be so confident without a car. A bike wears out some of that idle energy. Plus, it's not easy to bike away covered in blood without being noticed, right?
let's see, Ted Bundy, like the Hillside Strangler,
No.
the Zodiac Killer.
Those people are more amateurs compared to what we're gonna be.
The fact that the boys mocked heinous killers like Ted Bundy, the Hillside Strangler, and the Zodiac Killer, yet viewed themselves as superior, speaks to the boys' extremely pronounced exhibitions of narcissistic features.
We're gonna be more of higher sources of
Gene.
Gene.
Well, except for that sick and twisted.
Oh, do you know what Gene's words were?
What?
Saw a girl walking down the street, right?
Yeah.
2 questions came to his head. I could take her out, have a nice time with her,
The killer.
and show her a
Get
good
her
time,
alive.
charm the pants off her, or I wonder what her head would look like on a stick.
Holy shit.
That's creepy,
Yes.
huh?
Holy shit.
Among the 4 styles of humor, affiliative, self-defeating, self-enhancing, and aggressive. Aggressive humor is most common in dark personalities. Draper and Adamczyk display aggressive humor here. Adamczyk references a quote spoken by Edmund Kemper. When I see a pretty girl walking down the street, I think 2 things. One part of me wants to take her out, talk to her, be real nice and sweet and treat her right. The other part wonders what her head would look like on a stick. As a quote spoken.
It's crazy how smart a lot of these killers were. Like that's not something I would expect a serial killer to say. I mean, I would like, or what would their head look like on a stick, but like a lot of them, like Ted Bundy, and Ted Bundy was almost a lawyer. A lot of them were extremely intelligent. And that's another thing that's weird to me about serial killers.
By Ed Gein. Adam Schick misattributes this quote just as the main character in the film American Psycho does.
Murder is power, murder is freedom. Goodbye.
I don't know.
The tapes then start off the next day, the day of Cassie's murder.
The way it is. That would, but
Good
Perhaps
morning,
Brian
Pinto.
wanted to
Happy
show one
Halloween.
more snapshot of his normal life when he made these series of recordings on the same tape. Draper's steps are intentional as he turns each corner into the echoing hallways with a singular mindset. He holds the camera low as he approaches Cassie, a predator stalking its prey. She stands alone by her locker.
hey, look, it's Cassie.
Hey, look, I don't know.
Hello, Cassie. I'm getting you on tape, okay? Say hi, please. Hi. Okay, see ya. Wait, have you seen Tori? He's supposed to be here at 7:30, and it's 8:19. He's an hour late. You don't even care, do you? Okay. See ya.
Draper immediately retreats to a bathroom and films his reflection, potentially self-conscious after his
I'm really glad to hear that, Keister.
interaction with his future victim.
Wait, her guys are here.
I think so too, each.
He seems lost in the ebb and flow of overlapping conversation that surrounds him, walking alone, unseen and unheard. The next clips again take place in Draper and Adam Schick's school. It appears that both are cutting class and using the library or study hall to finalize a written plan for the killing of Cassie, to take place later that very same day. Draper does most of the narration, with Adam Schick interjecting. Adam Schick is writing in a notebook, apparently making out written scenarios of how they will commit the murder later that night.
Marie, September 22nd, 2006. We're skipping our 4th hour. We're writing our plan right now for tonight. It's gonna be cool.
That was for actually tonight.
She's watching us. He's still watching us.
Number 2 is what?
A genuine smile reaches the eyes, and as Draper beams at the camera, we can see his smile is real. Adam Schick follows suit. This is insidious insight into the minds of two teenage killers with intentions similar to Draper's idols, the Columbine perpetrators.
Look at his face over here. He just looks, and I think he's the one that wasn't as quite as he was the follower, not the leader. And he just looks demented. He's the one that's got it like, I can be normal, but I'm really sick in the head. Columbine is another one, but I'm sure we've all heard about that one. I remember when that happened. I was actually, like, in high school, I was Gothic. So I looked into the Columbine stuff a lot. I wasn't ever going to do anything like that, but I've always been interested in why people do the things they do. So I studied that. I studied a lot of serial killers. I wanted to grow up and be the FBI person who talks to serial killers to understand why they do what they do.
We see behavior mirrored between the two pairs. In one picture, Harris and Klebold stand side by side, donning long trench coats, grinning from ear to ear as they load their guns. The FBI believed Harris was a boundlessly aggressive sociopath, and Klebold a vengeful depressive.
They could be born like that, but can you nurture it out of them? Like, going to the nurture versus nature. You know what I mean?
Draper often glances at the recording of himself. When Adamczyk glances at the recording of himself, it is often just after Draper did so. Given that the tale of Narcissus includes the idea that the hero in the tale is obsessed with his own reflection due to competing folklore accounts, it's fitting to point out that this behavior is also
Really,
consistent
Joy?
with
That's
narcissistic
interesting.
personality features. Without context, Draper and Adamczyk seem like normal 16-year-old students. They skip class and pretend to do homework.
I don't know where they are in.
Yeah. Get that. These are teacher.
That's interesting. Hazel's wanting all the love this morning.
Let's call. There's not much going on right now. I'm sorry.
Their noticeably inconspicuous behavior
Yeah.
seems like that pulled
I agree,
directly from the
Keezer.
characters of a sitcom.
Yeah, if you're watching this, we're probably deceased. So it's pretty creepy. I just thought of that. Whatever. Well, actually, that's what happens. You die.
Oh, wow. I'll look into him.
This documentary.
You have to go that time. I don't know. This tape has already been used for halfway through.
No.
Yeah. Mark Werner is supposed to happen tonight. So hopefully nothing will go wrong. If we go smoothly, we can get our first kill done, started, and we can keep going.
For you, if you just read up letters watching this I don't know what to say. It's good luck on that. Yeah.
Oh, wow, Joy.
Good luck.
Tori and Brian clearly wanted to send this video segment as a message. They seem to frame it as an interview with them, where they talk about their specific serial killer goals. Their nonverbal gestures frequently indicate what seems to be nervous fidgeting and/or excitement. We see the complex dynamic of their relationship. They play off and bolster one another, gaining momentum as they go. Humans thrive and adapt more efficiently with social support. Encouragement from friends and family often increases goal attainment, which contributes to overall improved quality of life. Individuals affected by severe mental illness are often socially isolated and frequently display avoidant tendencies that prevent them from forming healthy social bonds. However, Draper and Adamczyk.
Abella says, contrary to popular belief, Jeffrey Dahmer never killed animals. He picked up roadkill and studied them. Yeah, that's a real interesting case because his dad knew something was wrong and blamed it on the mother taking some kind of, I think it was antidepressant medication while she was pregnant with him. And he tried so hard to nurture that instinct out of him, but he couldn't do it. That's an interesting study. the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff.
Share similar dark and terrifying tendencies, desires, and goals. A toxic and lethal combination primed for action.
Hopefully you don't have to go through 8 or 9 failures like we have.
Yeah, we probably tried it 10 times, but they've never been home alone, so.
Or when they have, the parents show up.
As long as we're patient, and we were patient, never getting paid off, because I missed him home alone. So we got our plan all worked out now, so. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cassie's family, but she had number one.
Serial murderers often identify a special first target. First targets may form the basis for desired characteristics in future murder victims, i.e. blonde hair, short, quiet.
We have to stick with the plan. And she's perfect, so she's gonna die. Anyone who saw my Kirsten Barnes' house, probably. And we have a new victim now. Her name is Miranda Chacon. She's very sleeping.
So we
She
tried to kill
told
her.
me to be quiet and to shut up, so now she's dead. I've always wanted to make my mark on the world and stuff. And this is a good way to do it.
We gotta kill all those Mormons. There's some Mormons out there.
I know. Combine my love with horror movies with my love.
Oh wow, Keister, that's really interesting. I'm glad he's developed empathy now. And I'm glad you took steps to try to get him help.
Wanting to, be confident.
Davis.
This goal may be driven by a subconscious yearning for general acceptance and feelings of belongingness.
You want to be popular?
No, he never knows my name. Well, I care. I care some stealing people. They're with him now. And their massacre lasted 45 minutes. And ours is probably going to last like 2 weeks.
What happened? Really? Only 2 weeks?
Well, it just means that we're smarter now, dude. For that.
Even if we get fired,
I think we give it up. Maybe 8 kills.
I'm thinking, like always, 20.
20 kills.
That's a lot of kills.
That's a lot of people to kill.
But there's a lot of people in this planet.
I agree.
When a guy gets stabbed, there's just no.
It seems that although Draper and Adamczyk conspired toward the same goal, one primary motivation behind their intent differs. They both seek fame and thrill, but Draper might be further involved by an obsessive
Abella.
fixation on Cassie, whereas Adamczyk fantasizes
Yeah,
about killing multiple
Joy,
people
no doubt.
often. Adamczyk never mentions Cassie by name and goes so far as to set a lofty goal of killing 20 people.
It shall be done. We'll see.
My nerves are so sick.
Well, I'm there, breaking the houses in you, so. 3-piece. Can you be in class? Sir? Well, we're thinking about the movie right now.
Oh, sorry. I just don't remember.
No, it's cool. It's cool. We're just talking about everything, just for school projects. I guess. Yeah, I guess you call it project, right?
Yeah.
But what the hell are you guys
Actually,
doing?
it's quite nice.
Yes, it does.
So
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How percent? Are you playing soccer?
Not this year. I decided to not play soccer this year.
I'm gonna try to
I'm more
speed it up
things to do.
a little bit.
Much more.
A lot more. So, not bad soccer.
This implies that Draper and Adamczyk had been planning Cassie's murder before the beginning of the school year. Adamczyk had called a friend on August 31st, 2006, to ask for help purchasing knives under the
That might
guise
be
of wanting
too
to start a
bad.
collection. They would use them to kill Cassie less than a month later.
You're on JV, I think it. Really, you're on varsity?
Importantly, as Draper fearlessly navigates the conversation, he displays little to no signs of anxiety or fear, calling into question his anxiety diagnosis. Remember this as we progress. Does Draper exhibit signs of anxiety, aggression, anger, or sadness? From the take-control behavior he displays here, we could infer that Draper is the primary instigator or the ringleader, but the evidence is conflicting.
I'm supposed to go to the game tomorrow. What game? Foosball. You want it back? I'm going with my grandpa. That's right after we eat. So. Is it? So you take this one? No. Just not playing soccer. I know. It's terrible. What the hell are you doing? Go behind our camera now. For all you viewers, this is the three-piece and biscuit. Three-piece and biscuit.
Okay, Paranormal, thank you. I'll check it out.
And he plays foosball. And he stopped to say hi.
I'm super happy for you, Bellis.
Yep.
I couldn't imagine having to deal with things like that, you know, you probably had to deal with back then. And I'm sorry you ever had to deal with anybody judging you or anything like that. And I'm really happy for you and that you're doing well now. And I'm glad that they got all that passed and, you know, it's a lot more accepted now. I'm really grateful for that. I personally never had an issue with anything like that because I think that, you know, you all love who you love and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like everybody should be able to love who they love regardless. Love is love. They do, Joy.
Stay tuned.
Their well-meaning classmate feigns choking, a perverse and ironic foreshadowing of the death that would occur later that night.
Right, Anders.
This classmate later testified as a civilian witness in Adamchick's trial, State versus Adamchick. Their lighthearted interaction suggests that Draper and possibly Adamchick may have been more involved and accepted in their high school community than is typical of youth with violent and antisocial proclivities, as it seems Draper and Adamchick display. Draper
so glad to hear
specifically
that,
seems to have been well ingrained. During his trial, character witnesses explained that he appeared to be a healthy, happy teenage boy, which suggests he has a keen ability to blend into normalcy.
That's funny, Paranormal. I used to hear, there was a lady that lived beside us, and I used to go sit and talk to her. She had dementia, and she would talk about her son, and she would say he's a card. And I never understood, like, what she meant when she said he's a card, but it goes back to that lady killer thing that you were talking about, like the little phrases that people use. Like people told me it meant that he's like a joker, but I've never understood the reference of like saying he's a card to like he jokes around or he's a funny guy or something. Like I still don't understand how referencing a card is saying that, you know what I mean? That's one thing I've never understood. And they're ornery, that word. That's another one I never understood.
Sorry, comedians. Okay, we're back. Sorry for that thing, but that's kind of not planned. But,
that's very true,
you know,
Tayo.
Shit happens. Sorry for the baby. Sorry for that little thing.
Jeffrey wanted love from his mother, and his mother didn't love him. In my opinion, that's what I gathered from that. He just wanted his mother to love him and to be accepted by her, and his mother was just incapable of loving him, is what I gathered from that.
That's my food, dude. Now you know what kind of person Brian is. Okay, come on. I like the way this scenario begins, and we kill her. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay, scenario C. For those of you planning to make a movie about this, because
This is me personally giving you my
obituary.
No,
Your information.
my
What?
giving you the right to copy me with a character that looks like me. Because I know in Hollywood they usually have people complain they can't have people looking like the real thing.
His creeping drawl as he speaks of his future fame is chilling. He displays pronounced narcissistic behavior.
I don't care. It's my body. I get to choose how I look in the movie, and I want you to look just like me. The character to look like me.
Well said. Well said.
So if my parents are like, no, you can't do that, it's not my parents' choice.
Say fuck him, and then just do it.
Yeah. And if they try and sue you, you use this tape or you back up.
So yeah.
They can't do it.
Yep. I hear it. I'm the same way. Okay.
Scenario C.
How about Matt arrives at his
Just to see them planning this thing out is crazy. They're just sitting at school doing schoolwork and just planning this whole thing out. I think that they wanted the notoriety of it, and they didn't really understand the consequences of it. They wanted to be known and seen and heard and know, like they wanted the world to know their name. And unfortunately, it's what goes on with a lot of kids in these school shootings and things. They just want the world to see them. And so they do these drastic things because they know that the world will see them then and talk about them. And it's really sad. Because a child is not going to understand the concept of, the consequence of what they're doing when they do something like this. Your whole life is gone.
same time as Cassie. How about we hide inside the house?
Mine too.
Me, sorry, our locker.
I've got the
I'm a Halloween
Pretty
style.
fucking sweet.
I've got like the 17 years later video of them after, like 17 years after what happened, that I'm hoping we have time to watch. The interrogation is 2 hours and 20 minutes. So, and I'm going to do my best to get through that. And then the video after that, about 17 years later, is like 45 minutes like this one, I think.
Isn't it?
My trench coat.
Isn't it?
Adam Chick's locker is evidence of his obsession with horror. Posters plaster the inside. Unsurprisingly, we see the movie Scream.
Do something sweet. Smokes you.
Well, I'm gonna.
Look at those little legs.
I saw that movie. It's really good.
Let's go.
I say, my grandma's still alive, thank God, but my daddy passed away, and I miss my talks with him. But I tell my kids to get and yonder and all of that, so I know what you mean.
We see that his television is on, and a closer examination reveals that the movie that inspired Cassie's murder, Scream, is playing. Just hours prior to the murder at approximately 5:28 p.m., Draper seems to be practicing and gathering momentum, hyping himself up for what will follow. We hear a brief, chilling, and discordant musical hum before we find ourselves back with the pair in Adam Chick's car.
We're here in his car. The time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our two friends, and they are right.
Good. You're good, babe. They eat meant bad ones, not boomers. So I just wanted to tell you that. Oh, thank you, Abellas. Yeah, I miss my daddy. I love my daddy.
In that house
So
just
much.
down the street.
We just talked to them. We were there for an hour. But
We checked out the whole house. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I locked the back doors, so it's all locked. Now we just gotta wait. And
Yeah,
we're really nervous right now, but we're ready.
We're listening to the greatest rock band
We've
ever,
waited for this for a long time.
Pink Floyd, before we commit the ultimate crime of murder.
We waited for this for a long time.
A long time.
We'll stay tuned. Just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her
This is, again, 30 minutes after they did what they did.
lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie.
Draper divulges that he stabbed Cassie in the throat, and shortly following, we hear a full variant of the phrase, "just killed Cassie," as "I just killed Cassie." In the interviews that follow, the two attempted to downplay their roles in the crime. Moreover, Draper claimed he only stabbed Cassie because Adam Chick told him he had to. In stark contrast to his claim, Draper singularly stakes claim to Cassie's murder here, stating "I" instead of "we."
Oh, fuck. That felt like it wasn't real. I mean, it went by so fast.
Shut the fuck up. We gotta get our act straight.
It's okay. Okay, let's buy movie tickets now.
Okay.
Come on.
No.
Goodbye.
As he straddles the line between shock and euphoria, consider one key observation. Draper's voice is crystal clear. Draper transitions through periods of low, moderate, and severe slurring and stuttering throughout these videos. Accounts of friends and family indicate that Draper had a noticeable stutter throughout childhood. He was targeted by his peers, a victim of bullying. The forensic psychologist responsible for his evaluation believed this contributed to the development of his violent tendencies.
I'm so sorry.
Medical
That's
research
so
has yet to
sweet. I'm so
explain
sorry you
how
lost
stutters
her.
develop. Generally, their cause is believed to be a complex mix of biological, psychological, and environmental factors. Childhood trauma is often associated with stuttering and may lead to long-term deficits in speech.
Biological, psychological, and environmental issues are what causes things like that. I love looking at like the brain scans and stuff of serial killers. I find it so intriguing.
Brain structure and genetics, often determinants of mental illness, may also play a role. Individuals who suffer from serious mental illness are more likely to experience problems with cognitive processing that lead to speech impairment. Draper's stuttering is a distinct, mysterious characteristic. In this intense moment of heightened arousal, he does not stutter once.
I guess your eyes were up, chest moving. I thought it was like this. I thought it was joking, like, yeah, it's a joke. They're trying to, he's trying to flash it over and he wouldn't take at all. And he said, we have to kill her. I can't believe I did this. And he said, we have to kill her. And so we stabbed it out of the way. And then he just kept, I heard it go in. I heard the chest, like, pound on the chest. It was supposed to happen. It was supposed to be a joke. So sorry.
Just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear.
The two were sent to Idaho State Correctional Institution following their initial convictions and remain set to live the rest of their lives in prison.
Yes, Abellis. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Hold on just a minute. I don't know why it did that. Let me go to where we were at. Need to make sure the kids aren't on the end. We were at 40. Okay, we should be right here.
I don't know, chest. It was supposed to happen. It was supposed to be a joke.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a joke. But he said in the video, this is no joke.
So
Just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke. I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear.
The two were sent to
Right,
Idaho State
Abellis?
Correctional Institution following their initial convictions and remain set to live the rest of their lives in prison.
There is no sound of that. It's just going through and showing. Where is the sound? I guess that at the end of that video, there's no sound, I'm assuming. All right. So now we're going to watch the interrogation.
Allison immediately called 911.
Okay, what's going on?
What is going on here? I got to see if my kids are on the internet. So this is going to be the interrogation.
Last year, North Carolina passed an abortion ban. Some politicians want to further restrict abortion.
To my husband about this the other night. I was like, I've stated that I live in North Carolina, but like, if I had not said that, all these political ads,
2 16-year-old killers.
Like, thanks, you just doxed the shit out of me. Like, I've said I live in North Carolina before, but like all these political ads coming on, like North Carolina this and North Carolina that, and I'm like, thanks for just like doxing the shit out of me. Appreciate it.
Have never been seen before on YouTube.
I just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke. I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear.
And we just watched those videos. If my child confessed to do, I mean, you don't know until you're in that situation. I would feel like a horrible person. I would want to know why. I would want to know what happened. I'd be thinking about childhood and what could have happened to make them do that. It would be a lot different. If somebody told me that somebody SA'd somebody, now, yeah, you'd have to sedate me because I'm going for blood. But if I found out my child did something like that, if I found out my child SA'd somebody, I'd be going for blood for my child. But like, a child killing somebody or whatever, if that happened, I don't know how I would feel. I would feel guilty. I would feel like it was my fault, and I would be trying to figure out where things went wrong. Good morning, hobby farmer MM. It isn't a fellowship; they're fundamentalists. Thank you. I thought FLDS is the Fellowship of Latter-day Saints, right? And then there's Fundamentalist Mormon, from what I understand. I'm referencing Hobby Farmer. I'm referencing the ones that were like under Warren Jeffs. Not Mormons. I'm not talking about Mormons. I'm talking about the FLDS, the Fellowship of Latter-day Saints. It might be a sect of the FLDS that live like in Utah near Salt Lake City, where they wear the prairie dresses. Now, all of the religion might wear the prairie dresses and things. I was talking specifically about the ones, the Fellowship of Latter-day Saints that were under Warren Jeffs and lived in the area right there by him in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's what I was referencing. Not all Mormons and not all of the Latter-day Saints, just the ones that were, in that area. I could be wrong, though. If I am, please correct me. And thank you for being here, Hobby Farmer, and letting me know.
Dude, I just killed Cassie. Fuck. That felt like something real. It went by so fast.
Shut the fuck up. We gotta get our act straight.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Just 4 days after filming this video, Brian Draper sits alone in an interrogation room. He gets up and looks outside before shaking his head and sitting down to play the air drums.
Again, no concept of what he's done and that this is it. This is the rest of his life.
He takes out his wallet and reorganizes its contents. At first glance, it might seem he's not taking this seriously, but as his questioning goes on,
He's not, because he's a child and he does not understand the gravity of the situation. Thank you, Joy, for saying hit the like button. Please consider hitting the like button because it helps us get in the algorithm so more people can find us and come hang out and become part of the speculating family.
It becomes abundantly clear that he's trying unsuccessfully to calm his nerves. And Brian has more than enough reason to be nervous. 4 days prior to the taping of this footage, a sweet local 16-year-old girl named Cassie Jo Stoddard was brutally murdered while house-sitting for her aunt and uncle. When the homeowners arrived back at the residence, their 13-year-old daughter stumbled upon the horrific scene of her cousin's bloody body on the living room floor. The question echoed in everyone's minds: who would have committed such a heartless act upon the vulnerable young woman? Authorities immediately started looking into who Cassie was with in the days leading up to her death. On the night of Friday, September 22, 2006, Cassie did have some guests over: her boyfriend, Matt Beckham, and 2 classmates, Brian Draper and Tori Adamczyk. Brian and Tori departed the get-together early, but shortly after they left, the power in the house went out. There were also strange noises emanating from downstairs. Eventually, some of the lights in the house started to flicker on and off. The couple was feeling very uneasy, and Cassie hoped her boyfriend would spend the night, but his mother declined. She did offer that Cassie could come sleep over at their place, but the responsible teen reluctantly stayed behind to fulfill her house-sitting duties as Matt's mother came to pick him up around 11 p.m. The next morning, when he tried to contact her, there was no response. With the knowledge that Cassie's 2 teenage pals, Brian and Tori, were some of the last people to see her alive, detectives went to Tori Adamczyk's home on the 24th, the very same day her body was found. He told them that after saying goodbye to Cassie and Matt on the 22nd, he and Brian had gone to see a movie at a local theater before spending the night at his house. Investigators found it curious that he was unable to describe what the film had actually been about, though. Reportedly, a similar unrecorded initial interview took place with Brian that day as well. The police then brought Brian Draper in for questioning on September 26th. Tori would be brought in the day after for a second interview as well. Tori's parents were in the room with him this time. The interrogator's first objective here will be to try and corroborate or discount the suspect's alibis. Brian is agitated and fidgety as he waits. He puts his hand over his face and slouches, subconsciously trying to make himself small and less noticeable. The interrogators enter the room and immediately establish...
Sorry, Hobby, I was doing something and couldn't turn the mic on. Hobby says, have you heard of the case of the 2 boys that went to Rigby, Idaho, and red-rummed an elderly lady just because she was home? I live down from that neighborhood. I have not heard of that. Pentecostal beliefs are much like the Amish. I like the Amish beliefs. If I could, I would be Amish. I love it. And I don't say that lightly. Like if I thought that I could leave all of society and the internet and all of the things, I would love to do that. I would love to just go back. I guess I shouldn't say Amish. I should say I would love to go back and live a very simple lifestyle like that. I love that, and I really admire them for being able to do that.
Establish a friendly and calm mood, likely putting an already anxious Brian more at ease.
Hey, Ryan. Hey. Here we talked to your folks, and just kind of told them they're filled in, and they're comfortable with the fact that we sit down and kind of, the other night we hashed over some things about, where you were and all the details and stuff, and as you well know, as you recall, you're one of the last 3 people,
right,
to see Cassie, and so it's so important and critical that we just answer some questions and we get by some of those things, and so kind of preface that with your folks. They're good for you sitting in here. I want to remind you that, of course, you're not under arrest. Okay, you're free to leave, and if you don't have to answer any questions that you don't want to, and at any time you can walk out that door and go hook up with your parents. Okay.
I have not seen that, Abellis.
So we're not making you stay here for any reason.
Tori's interrogation started similarly, with him also being strategically seated close to the door in a move that makes him feel free to leave whenever he wants, which, although technically true, is a false comfort given the gravity of the situation he's gotten himself into.
This is different than most interrogations because most of the time they put you in a back corner and place themselves between you and the door so you feel confined. I wonder if they did it differently because they were children.
Unlike Brian's more closed-off mannerisms, Tori gazes intensely at the interrogator, which indicates an intense curiosity.
We're going to start about, I know we talked the other night about, first of all, why we're here, and we're investigating a homicide.
Yes.
That Cassie Stoddard was murdered.
Yes.
And because of the fact that you were, one of the last 3 people, there, and you had knowledge of her and stuff like that, it's common course that we want to go and interview people and find out what you know. We'll go ahead and start first. I guess, as I recall in the statement before, you've known Cassie for about how long?
From 10th grade.
Okay. So you've known her for a little while.
Yes.
Brian and Tori differ in many ways, but their darker interests just happened to converge in a way which created the perfect storm for this awful crime to take place. According to Brian, when he met Tori, the boys started talking about how it would be cool to commit a crime inspired by the Scream movie.
So what is your relationship with Cassie?
Friends.
Okay.
Let me know if that's too fast for you. I know that EWU talks fast, but the interrogation is not like really fast. So I was trying to speed it up a little bit so we can get through all of this today. But let me know if it's still too fast for you guys. I will look it up.
Is it you ever dated her or anything like that, or just
No.
kind of friends? How often do you see her? Maybe during the week?
Every day at school, but this would be my 3rd time hanging out with her outside of school.
Fair. Let's talk about Friday, and I think the date was the 22nd.
The interrogator will now attempt to gather information and establish a timeline leading up to Friday, the day of the murder.
And that was the night that you guys went up there to visit. Can you tell me a little bit about maybe at school or something, how you learned or how you come to go up to Cassie's place or out to that place she was housed in?
She told me on Thursday that she was having babysitting the house, basically. House sitting.
Okay, so you guys decide to go. Plans are made. It's Friday. What time do you get ready? What time do you end up? How does it work out that you and Brian head out to?
What time?
I'll just refer to it as Whispering Cliffs. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Whispering Cliffs is the street address of the home Cassie was house sitting. Tori's mother is helping him recount his timeline.
Mom, what time did I leave from our house?
On
Friday.
It was after I got back from taking Jamie to the game.
It was about 6:30 or 7.
6:30ish.
About there.
Okay, between 6:30 and 7.
Yeah.
You left your house.
Yeah, and I went and picked
It
up
was
Brian.
7. Probably, between 6:30 and 7.
Okay, and
Picked up Brian.
you were driving your
Yeah.
that red. Is it you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's your car. You get back and forth in. So you drove that to Brian's house.
I picked him up, and then
About around what time do you think it was?
I don't know, maybe 7:20.
Good morning, Norma Guerrera. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. Thank you for spending your Halloween morning with me. I hope you guys have the best Halloween ever.
Between 7 and 7:30.
Okay.
In reality, Brian and Tori had planned to kill Cassie on that very Thursday he talked about. They filmed themselves in a car that night, saying that they'd snooped around another girl's house, but she wasn't home, so they were going to call up Matt and Cassie. In that tape, Brian spoke. They're our friends, but we have to make sacrifices. So, I feel tonight it is the night, and I feel really weird and stuff. I feel like I want to kill somebody. For whatever reason, they didn't go through with it that night.
There should be no law against killing people. I know it's a wrong thing, but hell, you restrict somebody from it, they're gonna want it more.
We found our victim, and sad as it may be, she's our friend. But you know what? We all have to make sacrifices. Our first victim is going to be Cassie Stoddard. She's going to be alone in a big, dark house out in the middle of nowhere. How perfect can you get? Holy shit, dude.
I'm horny just thinking about it.
Hell yeah.
At school the next morning, Brian recorded a short video of Cassie by her locker.
Have you seen Tori? He's supposed to be here at 7:30, and it's 8:19. He's an hour late. You don't even care, dude. Okay.
And so at school, I told a whole bunch of people that there's gonna be a party there and stuff, and they're just gonna be home for the whole weekend.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about that. Why did you like a whole bunch of people? What does that mean? Does that mean 10? Does that mean 20?
I told a group of 10. I believe it was like 8 or 9.
Okay.
Of course. And he was talking to them and stuff, and it said that they would see, they would tell their friends and stuff.
Okay.
It was actually just Matt, Brian, and Tori who came over on the night of the crime. Although we can't be sure if Brian actually told a bunch of the other kids that Cassie would be alone at the house that weekend, it seems like something he could have easily made up, hoping to make the interrogators believe that any number of students could have had the necessary knowledge to take advantage of Cassie's vulnerable situation. And in fact, interrogators would deliberately bring this point up to Tori the next day, asking if the party was common knowledge at school.
Anders, if you've got to go, that's fine, hun. Thank you for being here. I don't know if you were saying that because you had to go or not, but I appreciate it.
This already sets him up to be more at ease, because the logical progression in his mind would be, the more people who know, the more suspects there are, and the less focus there will be on me. Well, nice try.
Did you tell other people about this?
Yes.
Okay, so it's maybe common knowledge at school that
Yes.
she was going to have a few people over.
It was.
But it really wasn't going to be this big party or anything like that, right?
It, but yeah.
Tori responds very quickly, anxious to accept that extra cover.
Did they say what time that party was supposed to begin?
Well, I said I'd be there around 8.
Okay.
Tori mentions planning their trip to Cassie's at school that Friday.
You hooked up with Brian and you said, hey, we should go to this. We should go to Cassie's place.
Yeah, we were planning that during school.
Okay.
In reality, he and Brian had indeed used their class time that day to plan the night out, but it wasn't concerning fun activities with friends. Instead, they taped themselves saying things like, hopefully.
So I'll tell you something funny. Hobby, since this is a Halloween stream and we're all just kind of hanging out, Hobby says, I lived close to the Daybells town. That town was strict. Men allowed no facial hair and said they were hiding from something, and thong underwear were illegal. And Eek said, that's so bizarre. How would they enforce a no thongs rule? I will tell you, in the state of North Carolina, it is illegal to give or receive oral smecks. And I asked the same thing. How would you know?
Hopefully this will go smoothly and we can get our first kill done and then keep going. And I'm sorry, Cassie's family, but she had to be the one. She's perfect, so she's gonna die.
September 22nd to 26th. We're skipping our 4th hour. We're not even plan right now. I'm definitely. I'm sorry, Cassie's family, but she had to be the one. We have to confirm. She's perfect, so she's gonna die.
After school,
there's a lot of states that have weird laws like that. That's like, how do you know? Like I'm going to go to the police and be like, yeah, I just did this with my husband, so arrest me. Like, because if you're doing it in public, that's a different charge anyway. So I don't know. There's a lot of weird laws like that for different states. You should look it up sometime.
They linked up before heading out.
Let's see. Okay. So I called Tori around 7:45 or something like that. And then he came got me at around 8 o'clock.
The interrogators confirmed some details about the vehicle they took, as well as some phone calls they made around this time. Not only will they check that these calls were actually made, but they also may look for cellular tower location data to confirm that they were made from the spots the boys say they were. And this will become crucial as the phone calls get closer to the time of the crime. Brian and Tori eventually found their way to the Whispering Cliffs residence, and you'll see that the interrogators ask very open-ended questions about what happened when they arrived. This is a common way to let the suspect apparently control the narrative, while also paying close attention to what they add, omit, or even alter in the timeline of events, as compared to what the interrogators already know. This helps to establish their general trustworthiness, or lack thereof.
And what?
Then we saw Matt on the front porch. And he said, hey guys.
Is that like up on the balcony? Is that up like on the second level?
The balcony.
And so he come out of the house to greet you. Okay.
And so we were inside the house. We're like, oh my crap, it's a huge house and stuff. And so we went,
how do you get into the house?
You go up the balcony.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like that.
So you ended up entering the house at the same place where Matt was standing greeting you.
Yeah.
But did you notice there was a lower door too in the garage door?
I did.
Okay, we did go in that door. You went in the second level.
Yes.
Okay. And then what?
Well,
you guys went into the house.
Walked inside.
Both together. Tori was with you. Yes.
The interrogator is starting to thumb through notes. He's attempting to distract the suspect and make communication more difficult, but the suspect doesn't seem to notice.
Okay.
And we saw the house was really big and stuff, and I thought this was cool, you know. And then I remember asking Cassie, where's everybody? You know, she said, oh, well, I'm not sure if they came. So we sat down. I remember she had a big video.
So you went there and you went into a first room. Did you go into a living room, a hallway?
There's a living room on the left side. I remember there's a staircase.
So what's the first thing you did when you arrived there? Did you just go into the living room, or did you go throughout the whole house?
I walked
check
around.
out the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Was you escorted by anybody, or
I was Matt.
Okay, so Matt, like,
you walk me around stuff.
Okay, just kind of showing you. So you basically looked at every room in the house, just a lay of the land.
There's a lot of rooms there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you arrived there. What happened when you get there?
Cassie and Matt gave us a tour of the entire house.
Just back up just a little bit. So you told them to drive. Did they greet you?
Yeah, Matt was outside on the deck, and he waved to us, and then he went inside the house, and we just walked up the stairs and walked in.
So you walked up the stairs. You saw a basement door going in, maybe, and a garage door. See, this is the garage door right here.
Yeah.
Was there a door here, a little man door to walk?
Oh, yeah, there was.
Okay, so you went by the door, but you went up.
We went up the stairs.
Second level. Okay. So they greeted you there. You went inside?
Yes.
And what happened since you went inside?
We looked around, we were at the entry hall, and then we got the tour of the entire house.
They take you on that tour?
Yeah, they did. They showed us around.
The interrogator made sure to call attention to the lower entrance to the house and the fact that Brian and Tori became well acquainted with the layout of basically the entire home. Because of this exploration, they learned of many entrances and places to hide. Later, when they left the home, they would make sure to leave a back door, which leads from the garage into the basement, unlocked, so that a sneaky re-entry could be made without alerting Cassie or Matt. A bit further,
I love you guys too. You guys are hilarious.
into his account of the get-together, Brian starts talking about going through a movie collection at the home, and the investigators zero in on this topic.
And then I saw he had a big video collection. It's a bunch of movies and stuff.
Okay.
And then I think...
Did you look through those movies?
I did.
Okay. Do you like movies?
Yes.
What kind of movies? What's your favorite kind of movies?
I like horror movies.
Okay. So you like horror movies?
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, what genre?
Is what?
Well, like what category? There's lots of
Is there? What would you say is your favorite movie of all?
All time, my favorite movie would have to be... There's lots of choices. To be honest, I'd have to say Halloween, my favorite movie.
Okay. I was wanting to see what he said was his favorite movie. I appreciate you guys being here in the mornings too, and thank you for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. Mornings have been a lot better for me too since you guys have been coming around.
It's a good one. That's a pretty good classic.
Yeah, it is.
For any other interrogation, asking someone their favorite movie might seem a little off topic, but for this case, it is absolutely relevant. Not only does it serve to get the suspect to relax and talk more comfortably, but it's actually a theme that comes up again and again in this case.
Did you pick a movie out? Were you going to watch a movie?
I wanted to watch Domestic Disturbance, but that's not what I wanted to watch. So he got Kill Bill Volume 2, I believe.
Okay.
We watched that. And
did you watch the whole movie? Did you guys all go into
Those
the
are my
movie?
favorite movies. Kill Bill.
I was on the
Volume
couch.
1 and 2.
I was on the far wall.
Okay.
And Matt and Cassie were kissing and stuff.
Okay.
And Tori was right by the TV. They had a huge TV.
Brian says they watched a little of the movie, but then around 8:50 he was feeling a little bored and said he should probably head home. Matt purportedly said he needed a ride, and Brian says Tori promised to come back and get him. Brian starts talking about when they left the house, but then the interrogator cuts him off to bring up an unexpected subject. Brian had earlier described the other friends enjoying popsicles at the house, and now the investigator asks what they used to open them.
When they were eating popsicles, were you in the kitchen? What were you using to open them? Were they these ones you have to cut the top open, or did you tear them with your teeth? Or
you had to cut the top open.
Okay, so how were they opening the popsicles?
I remember there was a knife in the door that had like a child hang on it.
Okay.
And Matt was like, oh, yeah, I showed him how to open it and stuff, and he opened it for me, and then he did it.
Okay. So did you touch that knife at all?
I think I held it first, yes.
Okay. Did you see them using the knife?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then did it was laying on the counter when you left? Was it put back in the drawer? Was it on the counter? Do you know what it was?
I think it was put back in the drawer actually.
Okay. But you saw that, and Matt showed you. Matt apparently helped you get that knife out of the thing. Okay. And then why did you handle it?
I was trying to find like a pair of scissors, and I found that. And I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, it's not
okay.
So we just touched that.
This answer goes outside of Brian's prepared story, and he's getting nervous.
But you didn't have a popsicle.
Yeah, I was going to point out that he's stuttering now because he's nervous.
You just help them open theirs? Or?
Yeah, no.
All right.
I'm not a big fan of those kind of popsicles.
Okay.
The interrogators wanted to know if and why his fingerprints would be on a knife in the house. And now they're about to transition into asking about another key place in the home that would be strange for Brian and Tori to have touched.
So you're downstairs, now you got the popsicles out of the freezer downstairs? Is that where you got them?
The freezer.
That's where they were? All right. Would you see any other room downstairs? Did you go in the room that was in the corner? Room in the corner?
Yeah.
Tell me about that room.
That room's kind of cool. It had like a couch and a TV, and they had like a fridge, like a microwave, I believe.
Okay. So you check out that room. Do you notice anything about that room was the lights on in it when you were there?
Lights were off.
So you guys had to open the door.
You turned it on. And I remember thinking it was kind of out of, in a way in the house.
Weird place
to have a room. So.
Okay. Did you notice anything on the walls? Do you know what
whatever?
Well, maybe like that, but you know what an electrical panel is, like the breaker box that you turn the breakers on in the house?
Like the steel thing?
Yeah, it's like a steel panel door, and then it's got breaker switches, and it turns the power off to everything. I remember seeing one of those on the wall.
I have it in my house, yeah.
Okay, do you remember seeing one on the wall in that room?
I didn't even think of it, no.
Okay, you didn't think of it or you didn't see it?
I didn't see it.
Okay, but you might have, if the door would have been hanging open on it, you probably would have noticed that. Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't shut the door on it, it was open, so your fingerprints wouldn't be on that panel for any reason. You don't remember shutting the door or putting your hand on the wall?
I don't think my prints would be on that because I didn't know exactly where It was.
Okay, so, but you didn't
You
recognize
don't have Grubhub
electrical panel in there.
about
I
it?
did not recognize it.
It's something you certainly wouldn't be fooling around with normally. I mean,
No.
you'd probably remember touching something like that because they're dangerous.
Probably.
Yeah.
If they're asking you about it, it's because they already know the answer. Sorry, I'm eating Reese's.
Okay.
Yes.
Good enough.
These questions suggest that investigators have already found Brian's fingerprints on the panel in the downstairs room,
Oh,
and they are
I
silently
understand.
gathering inconsistencies to use against him later. Tori was also specifically asked about this room, but said he just looked through movies there.
Sorry, I was eating Reese's. I said, do you have Grubhub or Uber? Well, Uber is for rides, but like DoorDash, those places will deliver breakfast for you.
The reason investigators are so fixated on this room in the panel is because this lower level of the house is where the build-up to the murder took place. You see, what really happened after the boys left that night was that Brian and Tori parked down the street and returned to the Whispering Cliffs residence only about 15 minutes after they had said goodbye to their friends. While in the car, they had filmed their gleeful anticipation of the crime they were about to commit. At around 9:53 p.m., Brian spoke on the tape. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our two friends, and they're right in that house just down the street. They talk about how they've waited for this a long time and are now ready.
Time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I unlocked the back doors, so it's all locked. Now we just gotta wait.
They put on dark clothes and masks before equipping their knives and creeping back into the home. Once there, Brian and Tori wanted to scare Matt and Cassie as much as possible before actually going through with their horrible plan. So they used the electrical panel to flip the lights on and off as the couple sat watching TV upstairs. They also made loud noises, even throwing 2 ashtrays at the bottom of the stairs in an attempt to lure Cassie and Matt downstairs to check out what was going on, but they were unsuccessful. This is what the boys were really doing that night, but of course, as the interrogation goes on, Brian tries to cling to the story that they went to the cinema. However, it's clear that police likely have eyewitness accounts of people seeing their car parked in the neighborhood, and so Brian is desperately scrambling to explain this away.
Tickets for the movie. Oh, okay, so you're gonna go get tickets to go to the movie.
And so
You didn't park anywhere though in between, so there'd be no reason for like a neighbor
stopped for like
to see your
15
car.
minutes.
Where at?
It's fine. Cell phone call Matt.
Okay,
So again, if they're asking you questions about it, they already know the answer. I don't use those services much because we try not to eat out very much. But the only reason I know about it is because if my husband forgets to take his lunch to work, I'll have to call and like order him Chick-fil-A or something. So I've used it for that, to have them deliver food to his job.
So was this in the neighborhood, just not far down?
No, it was like maybe 20 feet away from the house.
Okay.
Then Matt wanted us to come back and get him.
So this is not track me because I'm just, it's probably me, I'm not understanding. But so you leave the house and you're 20 feet down the road.
Yeah.
The interrogator keeps saying it's probably just his fault for not understanding. He's not directly calling out how little Brian's story makes sense, but rather using this method to have him repeat key details and find any inconsistencies.
Then you called Matt. You hadn't been gone from the house for a minute or two, right? I mean,
Well, let me call Matt yet.
okay. So you stopped there to find the cell phone.
Yeah.
How long did you stop there for?
5 minutes.
Okay. What were you doing?
I was talking about movie stuff.
Okay. Talking about going to the movie. Okay.
Okay.
Talking for about 5 minutes.
About
Right?
5 minutes.
Okay.
And
So you've just placed yourself at the scene of the crime on the night that the murder happened.
you want to keep going?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So you didn't make a
Back
phone
to
call
movies.
from there. You kept rolling.
No. Came back to movies, we got the tickets and stuff. And then we
No, I'm
called
just gonna
Matt.
back up and slow down just a little bit so I can make sure and get all the details here. You find the phone there. You guys talk for 5
With
minutes.
some
there.
grits
Brian is clearly
inside,
trying to
let me
speed
talk.
through this dishonest section as fast as possible. His description of their supposed trip to the movie theater is similarly dubious. And now the interrogators will start to get very specific about locations, positions, relative times, and chronological sequences of events. This suggests they already have a timeline they're working with and want to snuff out additional flaws in Brian's story.
We wanted to see Click. We were going to start at 9:45, and we watch movies a lot,
Uh-huh.
and we like to see the whole movie. So, and I think the only one playing was Pulse, and that was at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So,
Oh my gosh, Overprotected. That sucks. Good morning, Overprotected. Thank you for being here. Happy Halloween.
we went inside there. I remember calling Matt inside the movie theater.
So that was it still 9:45 or was it a little later when you called Matt so we can match up that phone call?
Maybe 10:26, I think. 10:26, 10:27.
Okay.
The phone calls with Matt during this time period are extremely eerie once we know the context. Brian and Tori indeed told him they had to speak quietly because they were at the movies. In reality, they were directly below the couple in the downstairs room, lying in wait and trying not to give away their position.
Who sold you your ticket?
I remember it was a guy. I remember that.
Was there anything particular about him?
It was just a guy who lived there.
Okay.
Did you know him?
No.
And so we got go. You buy from the guy. It's 9:45. Ruff, do you think it's 9:45 when you go inside the lobby there? So if someone sees you there, they're going to see you at 9:45.
Probably.
Okay.
Okay, but where is the movie at?
I think the movie's on the right side.
Okay, and then where at is it? The first theater? You guys turn and go in?
Is there any way you can help us out with a map of the theater to show us kind of where the movie was in there, so we know? And again, we're just trying to confirm, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So you know, you can do another page if you want. Just flip the page.
Another page. Yeah. All right. Okay, box here. Parking lot over here. It's where we park, by the way.
And you're absolutely, unequivocally positive that you two went into Pulse. You two bought tickets for Pulse.
Yeah.
This is an attention-grabbing technique to redirect the suspect to this particular interrogator, who, up until this point, has been mostly passive. This is a classic technique when asking, "Are you absolutely sure of XYZ?" to get the suspect to commit to a fact-based answer, which suggests the interrogators know something contrary, and they want an explicit lie or contradiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then,
Andy asked you about the guy that was taking the tickets, just so we know.
Yes.
Do you remember what color hair he had? Do you remember anything about it at all?
I didn't really
Remember anybody else there working behind the counter?
Yes, I was talking
Do you
to him.
recognize anybody?
No, I was just talking to my friend.
Some sources claim that the investigators actually interviewed the employee who worked the ticket booth that night, and it was a female who knew Tori and Brian from going to school with them, and confirmed that they had not been there at all on the Friday night. If true, this obviously directly contradicts Brian's claim that the employee was a random man he didn't know, and explains why the interrogators keep touching on this point.
Now, as soon as you bought tickets, you went in there at 9:40.
And again, you know, if they ask you these questions, they're going to follow up and they already know you're lying. Overprotected, thank you for listening. I do appreciate you being here and listening. Joy, don't starve yourself unless you're doing it for, you know, a personal reason. Drive safe, overprotected, and thank you for saying hey to us this morning.
9:45, but the movie hadn't started because it starts at 10, so you had to hang around in the lobby
for
15 minutes, right?
Well, no, we went to the bathroom.
I'm not sure. They might have, Hobby.
Okay, so
you
you
were
went
like
right
there like a few minutes before it started.
Sure. Okay, so where at do you sit in the theater? If you could just drop.
I guess I don't understand about the, you go in and buy the ticket, still 9:45,
Yeah.
correct? And then you buy the ticket, but you're inside.
Yeah.
So then you go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Then you come back out. Now, they're not letting you in the movie until 10 o'clock.
No, I go to the movie probably 10 minutes before it's.
So they were sitting and everything, so it wasn't like waiting until 10 o'clock, right? So you got in.
We had to wait a little bit because there's a movie in there before, I think.
Okay.
That's what happened.
All right.
So you just hung out in the lobby?
No.
No.
We stayed in the bathroom, then we talked about some stuff, and then went to theaters and stuff.
Both interrogators are playing off one another here. One seems to not understand that you can enter a theater a few minutes before a movie starts, while the other does. Although Brian is being accurate, and anyone who has gone to a movie knows it would be reasonable to enter a few minutes before the starting time, the interrogator, pretending not to understand this, deliberately pushes the issue. It seems that they are really trying to get Brian to admit to hanging out in the lobby so that they can then see if witnesses confirm or deny their presence that night. But Brian finds ways to dodge this by saying they were in a bathroom or dark theater. The interrogators are actually taking turns with hard cop, soft cop, which keeps Brian off balance. He doesn't have a rapport with either interrogator and therefore is unable to relax from this point onwards.
Do you remember what the coming attractions were, the trailers, you know, on the movie when you're sitting there watching it?
I remember.
We're just sitting inside the movie. On the next page, just go flip the page.
Yeah, wherever I was sitting.
Just draw the movie house, a big square movie house, and I want you to just kind of give us a general location in the room.
Okay, stairs. We always sit in the middle, so we were.
Yeah, I mean, you always do, but did you this time sit in the middle? Was there a lot of people in there?
It wasn't like, you know, a full house or anything.
Estimate how many people you think were in there.
Half.
Like 10 people?
No.
5 people? 20 people?
I remember. Well, it wasn't like full. Maybe half of the theater, probably. Not half.
Yeah, that does sound good, Joy.
I don't know. It just maybe. If I were to have to say a number, I'd say about 30.
About 30?
Yeah.
Okay. Say this is the whole big building. This is the whole thing. This is where you go. And this is a little ticket booth, maybe right here. And then, you know, you can go to this theater or this theater's back here. Which way did you go?
I think it was the right. It was the right.
Okay. So you went to the right. And then do you remember where the theater was once you went to the right? It's kind of in the general location of the building. Was it clear at the end?
Now we know now that he is lying. So you can watch his demeanor while he's lying and get an understanding of what he does as an individual when he lies.
Was it clear? Was it right in front? You just don't remember that?
No.
You don't remember seeing the sign or anything?
I remember.
Because there's a lot of movie theaters in there, right?
Yeah. There's all of them that went to the theater.
Okay.
The interrogators continue to question Brian about the movie theater before they take a clever new approach to determine whether or not he was actually there. Question him about the movie itself. Here's where his lies come to a head.
I'm trying to ask you, like, maybe some details about the movie. Do you remember any, like, the coming attractions, the trailers, the
previews? Trailers. I do know that from what I saw, it's kind of like a sequel to White Toys.
Okay.
But there was no original characters or anything.
So what was the movie about? I mean, have you watched most of the movie?
I don't know. Well, there's a girl there.
Okay.
I sat. She was maybe 2 seats away from me.
Okay. What side of you? Was she sitting
on my right side.
On your right side?
Yes.
2 girls, right?
There's a girl and she had a friend. Yes.
Like Tori, Brian doesn't remember any specific details about the movie at all. Now he's going to make up a story that he was distracted talking to some girls, and that's why he wasn't paying attention to the movie, even at one point making the bizarre claim that he followed one of them out of the theater while she called her dad.
So you were talking to them?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we got a hold of them, they would know, they'd remember that conversation. And did I recall you say that her name was Heather?
I remember her name was Heather, yes.
Okay, what about the other one? Remember her name?
I didn't really talk to her at all.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you remember where they went to school or anything?
I thought I heard them say Highland. That's but I'm not exactly sure exactly what school to now.
Okay.
What did she look like?
Well, she's pretty attractive, of course. She was wearing tight jeans. She had, I think it was brown hair, and it was probably about here.
Okay. So that would say probably what, 5'3", 5'4"?
She was pretty short. I would say 5'5".
Is she?
Well, she wasn't that short because she's probably up here to me. She's probably 5'6", 5'7".
What color's her hair?
I think it was brown.
Definitely.
Okay, Trixie, we'll be real quiet.
Brown, or was it strawberry brown?
It was like my
normally you would think,
hair.
Bobby.
It was like brown with like streaks of like blood in it and stuff.
Right.
So you're pretty confident.
Exactly.
Just not sure if she went to Highland or not.
Yeah. I'm not positive she went to Highland.
Okay.
But you haven't seen her
Isn't he?
So chances are.
So cute. I just wanted.
So she either goes to Highland or
Century. Or she came from that town. I don't know.
But you heard her say Highland? I mean, something gave you the inkling that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
if you don't remember, that's fine.
Really,
but if she said Highland, then it kind of helps us a little bit. Okay, good deal.
Brian seems to recognize that he's backing himself into a corner here if he commits to saying she goes to Highland, because they could easily talk to any Heathers who attend that school and verify this story. So he backtracks and says he's not sure. The interrogators have been nice enough thus far, but here's where they really crack down.
So you don't remember any details about this movie at all? How long were you in the movie for?
See, this is where you're starting to fudge your story up, and they're about to bust you. I'm gonna do my nails while we're listening, and I'll show them to you guys later. If you're a member, I post in my members. I post for members daily, and it's just little personal things. I'll show you guys my nails and the membership things. Also, I'm going to try to do a movie in Discord later. If I do, I will make a community post where everybody can see it so that you guys can join us in Discord for a movie later if I can figure it out. Again, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. You can become part of the Speculating family by just hitting that subscribe button. Thank you so much. And again, happy Halloween, everybody.
We were in there maybe 20 minutes, and I called Matt.
Okay.
And
you called him or Tori called him?
Tori called him.
And you remember what time that was?
It was maybe 20 minutes into the movie.
The phone call being discussed is actually the phone call Brian and Tori made while they were hiding in the basement.
So 10:20.
That's a good point.
The movie starts at
He's the cutest chubber wubber.
Yeah.
So around 10:20, you think?
Yeah. I'd say,
oh, thank you, Abellis.
I remember checking his phone to see what time it was at like maybe 10 minutes of the movie, and it said 10:12. And then I remember we called him at least probably 10 minutes after that. So around.
So you were sitting inside the movie house when you called inside the theater. The movie was going.
Yes.
Who did you talk? Did you make the call, or did
he
called?
He called. Yes.
Tori called.
Yeah.
Matt.
Tori called Matt.
Okay. And so you don't know what they talked about?
No.
Did you hear any conversation what Tori was saying to him, or did he tell you about the conversation?
I remember he said if he still needed us to pick him up or something, he said no. His mom was going to come before we got back to his house. So I remember he asked me if he wanted to come and stop by the movie house. And then he said he had to go home with his mom. That's what he said.
Okay. How how long do we stay at the movie? You end up going back into the movie after you've been out with Heather while she's making fun. Where's Tori at? Is she still in the movie?
Yes.
She's watching the movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Notice the stuttering again.
And then you go back in, you sit next to Tori again. Then how long do you stay at the movie? Did you finish out the movie?
I think we wait 5 minutes, and then I remember seeing the credits.
At the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the movie about? I mean, you're a movie buff.
So cool.
These are things that you pay attention to, right?
The interrogators begin asking Brian about more details of the movie.
Grandma.
They're still trying to establish his presence there.
I mean,
at least guys, parts of the movie, or so many characters you can hook us up with to describe somebody in the movie, describe what happened, anything. What's the whole premise or the plot of the movie? What's it all about?
Well, it was similar to White Noise.
Okay, I don't know White Noise, so you're gonna have to give us some. Okay, you have to give us some details.
Okay, it's about a guy, his wife.
I don't want to know what White Noise is about. I want to know what this movie's about.
Yes, I'm saying.
Okay.
And then I remember, you can't really exactly explain the movie, so I'm paying attention to it.
Well, okay. You know what we did yesterday? We went and watched the movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So,
okay.
What is the movie about?
They're now contradicting his presence or how long he was present. Here is where they will begin picking apart his alibi.
Notice how they were giggling. You know what we did? Ha 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 ha. We went and watched a movie. Like, bam, mother trucker. We got you.
Jeez, I don't exactly know. I remember being really bored.
So you go in the movie, you pay that money to go in a movie, and just so your story is you didn't really watch the movie.
Yeah. Abellis, he is stuttering more now. He seems to do it more as he gets nervous.
Well, that's fucking girls.
Okay, but they're 2 seats away. I mean, you can do a lot of talking in the movie. At least you're picking up something. You're gonna pick up at least one image off the screen that you saw. Tell us about one person. Describe one person you saw in the movie. What they look like?
I'm seeing a man, and he looked at a TV screen. And White Noise had the shh thing.
And that's all you saw the whole movie. So how long do you think you were inside that movie theater? Grand total.
We were there for maybe 2 hours.
2 hours? You were inside that movie theater?
Maybe.
And you don't remember one detail to help us out. We're trying to help you out.
Yeah, I know. That's why I want to tell you.
Okay, so let's go back to this. You go back in the movie. Tori's still sitting there after Heather makes a phone call. Movie, the credits roll. You guys get up and leave?
Yeah.
After the movie, Brian says they went straight home to Tori's house and spent the night there. Brian's told his whole story at this point and is probably hoping that this whole thing can be over. But now the interrogators shift their tone and get very real with Brian, at the same time playing a "we want to help you, not let something bad happen to you" card. However, this is after 45 minutes of letting him dig himself into a lie.
Brian, we got some problems. Okay.
Yeah, you understand.
We got some problems.
Movie.
And it's really important that this is the time in the interview where you really need to cowboy up, and you really need to decide how you want this thing to fall on you.
Yeah.
The interrogator is now confronting Brian with conflicting information. He never went to the movies.
We've done our homework. Okay.
Yeah.
We've talked to a lot of people. We've viewed tape. Okay. And I'm here to tell you, you didn't go to the movie.
Okay.
You were not at that movie theater. Okay. Now that's neither here nor there. But the thing is, you're gonna have to get by that.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't go to the movie, that's fine. But you're gonna have to tell us where you went so that we can put you there, because it's I don't want something to cave in on you that's not working for you.
Right.
Okay. We're here to help you, bro. Really, we are.
You know what happened. Okay.
What?
You didn't go to the movie.
We didn't go to the movie. Okay.
Okay, before you do that,
just in case you guys ever find yourself in a situation where you need to be interrogated, the cops are never there to help you if you are being interrogated, just by the way, and just don't say anything. Don't even say your name. Just get a lawyer. But yeah, he's definitely busted. Busted.
Just listen carefully to Andy, okay?
Okay. Now listen to me. Don't underestimate how much we know.
Yeah.
Okay. I told you the first night that when I saw you that I don't think you're the type of person that could kill somebody cold-bloodedly.
Especially my close friend.
Especially your close friend.
Of course.
Okay.
No, hobby farmer. Not all of the FLDS live on a compound. There are some that live on a compound, but some of them live off the compound and still fall under the jurisdiction of Warren Jeffs. And from that case is interesting. From what I understand, he's still given prophecies from the jail.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Okay.
The interrogator is playing the kindly dad role here. The come clean so we can get through this approach. By using a softer voice paired with intense body language, he conveys the gravity of the situation while also disarming Brian a bit.
I can tell you what we're doing. I'm trying to hide this, but I guess I have to tell you.
You're gonna have to, man. It's the only way out.
We went through cars.
The dynamic has drastically shifted here, as Brian knows that the investigators know that he just lied to their faces and likely won't fully trust anything he says going forward. Still, he tries to come clean with a red herring, completely avoiding the full truth.
And that's against the law, so I won't say that.
Okay, you went through cars. What does that mean?
We checked for the cars that they aren't locked. And
Where at? Where was that? Where at?
Toward the drive. I don't know. And then we called Matt because he wanted to come too.
Okay, so you didn't go to the movie, but you went through cars.
We didn't go to the movie, but we went.
Can you tell us where you went through cars at? Because if you went through, did you take anything out of cars?
We didn't find anything.
Okay, so can you take us to a car that you went through, and we should find the fingerprints on that car?
We went to. I had gloves, and then we went. I remember we drove by toward his house.
Hold on.
His neighborhood.
Hold on.
Let's just really let's re-zero ourselves, man. I can't stress to you enough that we are your best friends right now. Okay, and please don't underestimate. We know you're a bright kid. We know that you got a lot going for you, and we want to help you to get a lot going for you, and we want to help you. And right now is the perfect time that we can, man, we can really help you out now. We've got a lot of bargaining chips right now, but it just so requires, like Andy said, we possess some knowledge, firsthand knowledge. We know, and what we're really waiting for is you to come straight with us so that we can help get you out of this crap, so it's not going to ruin the rest of your life.
Okay.
We want to help you. Okay, we really do. And I just really want you to believe in us for a minute, and really.
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand.
You need to tell us the truth.
The interrogator uses a similar tactic as his partner in emphasizing the truth. They've both gone good cop.
I told you about it.
Okay, so if this is the truth.
Yes, this is the truth.
You can, these things we should be able to go out and confirm.
Yes,
and cooperate.
This is. I was trying to hide this because I heard from a friend that that's 10 years in prison.
That's interesting.
What exactly were you doing? Tell me exactly what you were doing.
We parked outside her house for.
Right, but.
That's right. Okay.
Warren Jeffs was. Yeah, it was Warren Jeffs was the prophet, of the polygamist sect, that I'm referring to.
Let's do something right now. Let's do something right now.
Yeah.
Just take a minute. We'll all be quiet for a minute. You can take a few deep breaths. Okay.
Yeah.
Really go deep and do some soul searching and get your, get your wind back, and then you can go ahead and tell us. Okay.
Okay.
Can you tell us when you're ready? Take a few deep breaths.
Like what I'm saying is Warren Jeffs was the prophet for a section of the FLDS that lived in a town in Salt Lake City, Utah. But there are FLDS spread out all across the country and the world actually. And there's some that live in other places that follow Warren Jeffs that don't live on the compound. And there's also some spread out everywhere that don't follow Warren Jeffs. There's even some on the compound that don't follow Warren Jeffs anymore. But I was referring to Warren Jeffs in that case, where, and my thing was believing a prophet could lead you down, and believing that everything this man says is the word of God could lead you down a road to do some questionable things, like what happened in the Warren Jeffs case.
Like your dad said, you just need to calm down. If you're telling the truth, this is going to be easy. If you're lying,
I looked into that case a little bit, Abellis, but not a lot.
Now, before you go any further, okay?
Oh, wow, Hobby. I'm sorry
have some
to hear
aces
that.
in our pocket.
The interrogator's tactic of vaguely saying they have aces is commonly used when police actually don't have enough evidence. Otherwise, a confession would not be needed. Physical and circumstantial evidence is enough to convict for murder without a confession.
And what I mean by aces, I mean we have some things that we know beyond a shadow of a doubt. We've confirmed with people and that we know. Okay? We know about the car. We know about some activities that you guys have done. Okay? So, needless to say, for you to jerk us our chain, okay? Cassie's this great friend of yours, okay?
And she's watching right now. She's hearing everything that you're saying.
She has been brutally murdered. Yeah. And then you have wasted our time by dicking around, okay? And trying to lie to us. And trust me, we understand why you're trying to divert us, okay? We understand. You don't want to get in trouble. I understand, okay? The whole point of this is don't waste any more of our time. Okay, don't underestimate what we know.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's going to come down to one or two things. Okay, we already have one strike against you. Okay, you've already lied to us, and we don't appreciate that. Okay.
Yeah.
These are the types
Okay,
of
Hobby.
situations.
I appreciate you being here. I hope I haven't upset you. And if I'm misunderstanding, please let me know about the FLDS. But that was my understanding of it. I appreciate you being here, hun.
You don't lie. Everything else in this world is game. And I'm a firm believer in that. I don't give a shit if you lie in anything else to a cop, whatever. When it comes to a murder of a beloved friend, you do not lie. Okay. The second part of that is I want you to take a deep breath and I want you to think about what part of this that you're involved in. Okay, how much of this are you involved in?
Involved in what?
Brian is trying to play dumb here when he's well aware it's a murder investigation.
In what we're talking about with Cassie. Okay.
You think I'm involved?
I want you to continue. I want you to keep talking to us about the cause.
I believe it. That's what that
and I'm
case
saying
was all
we're
about.
your lifeline. We can help you now, but we can't help you later. We can if you tell us. I mean, we're willing to let bygones be bygones. You told us the first lie, so what? We expect that. Just let's clean it up and let's make it right. Let's look man to man in the eye. Let's get all our cards on the table, and let's talk about. We're here for one thing. We're here, to solve what happened to Cassie.
Yes.
And we didn't know.
Watch this next moment carefully.
If you were involved in that, and if you are, that's fine. We can deal with that.
Fine.
We can deal with that. If you were involved in that, and if you are, that's fine. We can deal with that.
Fine.
We can deal with
Not
that.
fine, he said.
Brian begins to smile and laugh in response to being asked if he had anything to do with Cassie's murder.
But
You guys are ridiculous.
we're not
I
being
want to kill my friend. Why would I kill Cassie?
He even smiles when he says, "Why would I want to kill my friend? Why would I kill Cassie?" Before catching himself and recognizing his expression isn't matching his words. He corrects himself by attempting to portray sadness.
Oh, I don't know who killed Cassie.
Doesn't it seem weird that all of a sudden now, you left a place in the house and now you've already told us the first lie. Now I'm hoping that you're gonna come clean and you're gonna tell us
I'm
what really
telling you
happened.
exactly what I know. All right. We left her house. Okay. We parked over here by the grass.
Okay.
We called Matt. I don't know exactly what time it was. It was probably 10:15. Probably not 10:15. That's too much. I don't know. 9:40. I'm gonna guess. He said he'd get back to us.
Get back to you about what?
About the cars.
So we should expect Matt. Because
We were
let me
supposed
stop
to
you. Let me
come
stop
back
you
and
one
get
thing.
him.
Let me stop you one thing. Matt's taking a polygraph tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
A lie detector test.
Of course.
We're gonna ask it.
Okay.
Okay. Now you're saying that he has knowledge of that. You're gonna go through cars.
Yes.
Okay.
Polygraph tests are usually not admissible in court, except under very few exceptions. The cops are either lying or trying to make more of the test than is realistic. They are preying on the suspect's ignorance of admissibility of evidence in court.
Yes.
So that's true. That's,
Yes.
that's straight up. And
Yes.
that's something we're gonna be able to bounce off, and that's gonna be. So we should be able to go ask Matt. Isn't it true these guys called and said they want to go through cars?
Yes.
Okay. She called him about 10:15, maybe less,
Yes.
maybe before.
Yes.
Said, "Okay, do you want to do it?" And he says,
He said he's not sure.
Okay, Hobby says, and I just checked again, FLDS is Fundamentalist Latter-day Saints. Okay, I must have been wrong about that. I appreciate you letting me know. Maybe I'm thinking about like the Fellowship of Mormons, the Fellowship of Mormons. I know that the church is called the Church of Jesus Christ. I think. I mean, I've studied religions, so I could be getting some of them confused. Yeah, I know you live in a town with a lot of it, and basically they are polygamous. Right, that's the word I'm looking for, the polygamist. And I appreciate your information on that and for your and I appreciate your correction.
He's going to call his mom and see if he can stay out. And then
Oh yeah, Hobby,
so
I'm sorry if I upset you or anything
we probably
again,
waited for about
but thank you for
probably
being
waited
here,
about
and I hope you have a good
20
Halloween.
minutes from about 10 o'clock, of course. And then
Sorry, y'all.
we called Matt
Wrong
again.
button.
so this will be about 10.
We called Matt about 10:20, 10:30.
Okay. Called him again.
We called him again.
Second time.
Yes, and he said his mom's coming to get him. So he couldn't go. So we left and went through cars.
Where'd you go through cars then?
We went to a neighborhood by Tori's house, and then I remember there.
Okay, you got to be Okay, now listen to me. Listen to me. You got to make sure that you can verify what color cars, because we have to go verify all that.
I don't know what color cars. We just check all the cars.
How did you do that? You had gloves on, huh?
Yeah, we just checked all the cars.
What kind of gloves?
You got those gloves?
I should have them, yes.
Joyce says I don't share very well, so that lifestyle would not be for me. I love their attire. I love their simple way of life, and I love the sense of community. However, following a prophet, I don't think I could do, because I'm gonna follow God. And if I feel that this prophet is saying things that don't align with what I think God would want me to do, then I'm going to have a problem, and I'm a very loud, opinionated woman, and I'm going to voice that. So I don't think I would last very long, but I admire the lifestyle.
Well, yeah.
Yes, you do, man.
What kind of gloves?
I wore them for soccer. They're the soccer gloves.
Okay. So, you know what? I want to, more than anything in this world, be able to go around Tori's place and find cars that have been broken into.
Okay.
Okay. That's what I want to do more than anything in this world. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you go back up to that neighborhood and park anywhere?
We park on the side of the road.
Back up in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about Whispering Cliffs out there, 2.5 miles. Do you go back out there?
No. You don't go back out there. No.
Okay, so I'm here to tell you that if we have information that we see that car parked there where you said, a different time, later that night.
Okay.
How do you explain that?
We were parked there. We were there. Let's see. We were there at 10.
Let me ask you this: you didn't go out to go through cars. You didn't park down the road to get out in that neighborhood and go through cars.
No. Oh well, like the one, like by her house,
Cassie, where you left Cassie and Matt up in that neighborhood.
Yes, we parked. There's a big tree.
So you parked there. You got out of your car. Did you go through some other cars there?
Yes.
Aside from coincidence and all that kind of stuff, when you got out, you parked there. Did you go back to play prank on those guys?
Prank on it?
On Cassie and Matt?
No.
Did you go there just to screw with them a little bit and pro prank?
He's ready to die on that hill.
No.
Okay. You're solid about that.
Yeah, I'm solid about that.
Okay. Well, you did get out in the neighborhood and check a few car doors.
Yes.
Okay. With the intent to burglarize those cars? You're going to take some stuff out of them, right?
The interrogators keep going back to this playing a prank option.
You guys didn't go back and things got out of hand. You played a prank.
No.
And things went weird.
No.
Because if it did, I mean, we can work through those things. I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's not fine if somebody got killed, but it's like, don't dig your hole deeper, because you know what I mean. We didn't start off on very good ground here.
I know.
The interrogators have likely already heard from Matt about the flickering lights and loud noises that night, and they're trying to offer Brian a less serious alternative that still gets an admission that he and Tori did indeed return to the home that night. This way, they would be able to get their foot in the door and build off of that point.
I mean, I've got some feelings, and you know, I got some ideas what went down. It's just going to be up to you to come to realization.
Exactly.
And
they're not going to be happy. That's why
well,
I'm trying to hide.
That's beside the point. There's a little more serious things going on here than that right now.
How many cars roughly did you open?
We've been open maybe 4 or 5. A lot of them were locked.
Okay, and so you got into 4 or 5?
Yeah, about 4 or 5.
But you didn't take any, no CDs?
No.
I mean, this is the one time in your life that somebody needs to come up with something missing. I mean, that somebody needs.
Do y'all remember CDs? I had so many in my car, mixed CDs and things like that.
To verify.
Yeah, but
something you did. Just tell us something that we can go back and we can say you did this. Aside from being charged with it, I mean, we don't care about that. We want to go back and be able to say, yep, your story fits. Think, is there anything that we can go back and make your story fit?
I didn't. No, there wasn't anything in the cars. So
nobody saw you?
Anything.
You didn't say anybody?
There was a mother that was yelling, and at like her kids or something. And they didn't show up outside, and we kind of scurried off early, because people there.
Okay. Did you go from behind the house and come back up the hill?
Asking about Brian's movements up a hill suggests there's evidence, such as tracks or footprints, in some area around Cassie's house that may link him to the scene. And sure enough, there were tracks left by Brian and Tori all around the home Cassie was house sitting.
Get back up the hill, then.
Behind the house Cassie was house sitting for. No reason why.
We didn't go back after that, no.
We didn't go back to the house
Well, like what time?
No. At any time, have you gone down that hill to the road down below?
Like
at any time in your life, have you ever gone from the road down below? Not you know where the driveway is.
Yeah.
Okay. Behind the house, gone down that hillside and down to the road.
I do remember on the way out. We're having a hard time. Like you're trying to find anything.
What do you mean?
Like I do remember.
No, listen. Okay, so listen to me. Okay.
It's around the road.
I'm gonna show
You're
you.
walking. You can walk out the back of the house. You can walk up that side of the hill.
No.
You didn't go back there on Saturday out to Cassie's house, did you?
No, I called her.
Doctor?
No, she answered.
You're saying at no time would your footprints ever be found behind this house?
Fellas, my whole life, I have loved the sound of vinyl better than CDs. My mama had a Led Zeppelin vinyl record, and I used to come home from school every day and play it because I love the sound of vinyl better. You get like a crackling and a popping in it that you don't get with anything else. And so as an adult now, I have a cheap little record player. I need to get a better one, but I collect vinyls. I've got a lot of vinyls. Like if I buy a CD or if I'm going to buy music from a person or, you know, whatever, I look for vinyl. And if they don't have vinyl, like I'll email and ask them if they're going to get vinyl because I love vinyl. I have a big collection of vinyl.
Going down the hill to a road.
Oh, I went to see her dog that was on the left side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you go down the hillside down to the road just to check it out?
No.
Okay, you didn't never do that?
No.
Okay, what about Tori?
No.
So you went down to where the dog was at?
Yeah.
In Tori's interrogation, which you'll recall took place the day after Brian's, he skipped right past the movie theater excuse and also tried to rely on the car burglary story, probably having already heard that their plan A had utterly failed.
So what was the purpose of parking there?
We were scoping the neighborhood
Why?
because we were planning to go through cars.
When you say go through cars, what do you mean?
Oh, see the ones that are open. We don't go through any with alarms or that are locked. We just walk by, push the handle, and if it's open, we get in it and steal the gas money or change.
So have you done that before?
Once this year and in 9th grade.
Okay, so it's something that, I mean, familiar with? I mean, you.
Yes.
However, like Brian, he's incredibly vague about where they looked at cars and even tries his best to breeze past the conversation altogether.
We got out of the car. We got out and we looked around for about 15 minutes.
Look around. What do you mean?
We just like, okay, here's where we are. We'll go. We might go this way, and then this way.
Okay.
And
which way did you end up going?
And then we got back in the car and we called Matt because we were planning to invite him to go with us.
Okay.
But we didn't want
You're losing me just a little bit because I'm not quite understanding what you guys get out of the car. Okay. And you're out of the car for
we
15
just
minutes.
look around and
you stand in one place?
No, we walked out down a little the road and then we'll turn around. We'll walk down this way and walk down this way. We walked back to my car.
Okay, let's talk about these cars because now it's pretty critical that we know, where these cars are, and so you can walk us back to these cars, and so we know, exactly, where these cars are parked.
The interrogator makes it seem like he is helping Tori to establish vehicular burglary as an alibi, but he is really letting the suspect lie in order to further establish the propensity for not telling the truth. By continually discrediting the suspect's story, the police and DA will rely heavily on forensic evidence to tell the true story of what happened.
Remember, the description of the cars, the color of the cars, what kind of door handles they had.
And he just keeps lying. All of them are lying, and it's interesting to watch the police. Like I'm just sitting here watching the police let them lie and catch them in their lies. I love to watch that kind of stuff to see how the killer acts and how they think they're the smartest person in the room, going back to a sense of narcissism,
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of cars. I don't usually pay attention to that. We passed a lot of cars.
Were these cars parked on the street?
On the street.
They're all parked on the street.
We don't go into cars that are in driveways usually.
When you went into these cars, so you can't give us like a color of a car?
I got
like
a
first
white one.
Okay, a white one?
I can't remember what kind it was though.
Something interesting about deception is that a truthful person will often fill a story with a lot of detail. On the other hand, most people are not good.
Hola, Anatolia. Thank you for being here. Happy Halloween.
Good liars, and filling in details to support a false story is difficult. In Tori's story, the detail is heavy in some places, but very weak in others. So it'd be hard for the interrogators to make a judgment call at this point. That is, if they had nothing else to go on.
Are we going to be able to verify your fingerprints there?
Probably not. I used my sleeve to open it.
Did you have gloves on though?
No.
Sure, you didn't have no gloves?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
The interrogators ask for one piece of evidence that would show Tori really stole from cars that night, and he says he has a CD case. But then, his parents actually voiced their own doubt that this is true.
Okay, so you might have gone through some other cars. Did you get any other items that you have?
I don't really
CDs,
still.
tapes?
Yes, I have a CD case.
We just took one out of the car?
Yeah, I have a CD case.
As you may recall, Brian stated they didn't find anything as they were going through cars.
So you got into 4 or 5?
Yeah, the 4 or 5.
But you didn't take any? No CDs?
No. Yes, I have a CD case.
And to make matters for Tory even worse, his own mother is about to catch him in the lie.
Was that from that night?
Oh yeah, I can't remember. That was from another night. That wasn't from that night.
Oh, okay.
I better remember.
I like that the parents are in there with him. I would be in there with my child too, so that I could say, no, we're going to get an attorney if things started getting sticky and I felt like my child might have done something. I'm gonna request an attorney immediately. And Atola says, how are my peeps? Everybody here at the Speculating family is doing great from what I understand. There's a few people that aren't feeling too well today and had some doctor's appointments. So keep them in your thoughts. And I'm taking my kids into town, although we've already done a lot of the trunk or treats. I'm going to let them walk around the neighborhood in town here. I'm going to go with them and let them walk around. Eek is passing out candy in my Teletubby costume. Them Teletubbies are creepy. You could easily make them real scary because they were already scary.
There's a CD case that I said, whose CD case is this? And then you said it's Brian's or David's.
When was that?
So that is a stolen CD case?
We better start thinking about where you got it.
Do you remember it was that night?
I don't think it was because I think we've had it it's been sitting downstairs in our family room waiting for David to come and pick it up or whoever's like.
Is that the same CD case you're speaking of? That she's speaking of? Because she probably wouldn't have seen the one.
No, she saw the one I saw.
On Friday night.
It could have been this weekend or it could have been the week before. I cannot remember. I remember there was a CD case and I remember saying, when did the CD case, whose is this? And there was all these movies.
Tory begins feigning.
I'm so sorry that people picked on you, Anna, but that the name Lala is beautiful. I love that name.
Confusion and
your name is beautiful too. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, and I'm sorry people made fun of you, but I think it's cute you went by Lala.
Crunching his eyebrows.
CDs.
A stack of them.
Yeah, they were CDs from the CD case.
We'll
they came from that CD case?
Yes.
But not that night or yes that night?
I'm pretty sure it was that night.
Okay. You think he came from a van?
Yes.
Down on that street somewhere.
Yeah.
White van.
Yeah.
Ford.
I don't know.
No, it couldn't be that night, Tory, because they've been sitting there stacked up for 2-3 days.
2-3 days?
Yeah.
Well, that was Friday night, though.
No, I mean 2 or 3 days before the weekend.
I can't remember.
Right. We'll take the white CD out of computation. Okay. We'll go on to see if we can't find something else there.
Okay.
Tory says once they were down looking through cars, they made one last call to the Whispering Cliffs house at 10:48. This is important because it indicated to Tory and Brian that Matt would not be staying with Cassie for the night. This goes to the issue of opportunity to commit the murder. The victim would be alone and no witness in the house.
So I said, Matt, do you need to ride or not? And he said, no, his mom should be there
I'm going to be looking
now.
for that.
So me and Brian just left and went back to my place.
Okay. So safe to say it's about 10:48 p.m. You make that final call and he says, no, really, man, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Now, Tory's parents are about to verify the approximate time he got home that night. And so Tory has to make up a reason why they didn't head home immediately after that last call, asking if Matt needs a ride. The excuse is pretty weak.
Then what do you guys do?
We went through our findings.
Which wasn't much, because you only said there was some change.
Yeah.
And did Brian have something else?
He didn't have any merchandise.
Nothing?
He just
Did he have a couple bucks?
What?
Nothing.
He just had a couple bucks.
Okay. You guys sat in the car. How long did you sit in the car? Is at some point in time where you didn't really leave there?
Maybe till about 10:55. Between 10:50 and 11:05. Between there.
So what were you doing in this period of time?
That's the time that we were looking through and we just gathered up everything.
Okay, help me because I'm still remember. So you get back to the car and you make the call. It's 10:48 according to the cell phone. It's a 2-minute call. You call Matt. And you confirm it that Matt's not. You don't have to take Matt for a ride. He's going to stay there or whatever he's going to do. Long and the short of it is you're not taking him with you.
Yeah.
So what do you do then? You guys you sit in the car. You say you went through your stuff.
Lalaine is a beautiful name. I like that name. Imagine being his parents and not having any idea, like thinking your child is completely innocent of this. You're going to go down, you're going to talk to police. They're going to say what they did that night and you're going to come back home with your child. and then everything happening and you finding out that your child did do this horrendous thing. I couldn't imagine.
You said you didn't get much. Like,
yeah, I just like pulled it in my pocket, looked through it, and then dropped it in my change. Then I went into my back seat, just looked around because all my books and stuff were thrown around out of it, my backpack from my school.
Okay, so
I just basically straightened
That
that
is
up.
so cute, Bellis.
I'm just sitting here
So you just spending the
Y'all
time
should watch
talking
the number 27 if you haven't seen it.
And
That's a good one.
and then we left between that time.
In reality, Tori and Brian were murdering Cassie during this time period, around 11 p.m. or a little after. We know this because at 11:31 p.m. they filmed this video of their reaction.
I just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a f***ing joke. I stabbed her in the throat, and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. Fuck. That felt like fucking real. I mean, it went by so fast.
We gotta get our act straight.
Back in Brian's interrogation, the investigators cleverly asked him if he and Tori did everything together that night.
So you're going to say that whatever Tori did this night, you did as well?
If with your cars, yeah.
No, I
Tori's
mean,
gonna tell us the same thing when we talk to him.
Yeah. I think he'll come clean too about the movie.
Brian mentions he did come clean about the lie, the movie. He's trying to reassure himself that he's telling the truth.
Yeah, the number 27, it has Jim Carrey in it, and it's like the only movie that I know of that he did where he plays a killer. And it's really good. It's not for children because there's some smack scenes in it, but it's a good movie. It's really good. I loved it when I watched it.
The truth, and by extension, assure the interrogators that he is being truthful at this point.
there's nobody that's going to see you guys sneak back into the house.
No.
That didn't happen.
No.
And there's nobody that's going to see you around the house on Saturday.
No.
We're not going to find those people.
No. We were at our house at all.
Does it have anything to do with the murder? Does it have anything to do with the murder, Cassie?
No. No, I did not have anything to do with the murder of Cassie.
Tori.
No.
Watch this clip carefully.
No, I did not have anything to do with the murder of Cassie.
Tori.
No. No, I did not have anything to do with the murder of Cassie.
Tori.
No.
While Brian is saying no, he's shaking his head yes. And he actually does this twice.
No, I did not have anything to do with the murder of Cassie.
Tori.
No.
Is it
His body
23?
language
I thought it
doesn't
was
match his
27.
words. This is known as incongruent body language and may possibly be a sign of deception.
Okay, and you're being square on that.
Of course.
And if we offer you a polygraph test, lie detector test,
Yes.
we're going to ask you those
Yeah, take
questions.
it. Yes.
We want you to take that.
Of course I'll take it.
Okay.
And you're not going to fail it. I don't need you to fail this test.
Well, they're what? They're 99% sure, right?
No, they're about 96.
Okay. Well, then yes, I should say yes.
Okay. And they're pretty simple. I mean, there's not a lot of hocus pocus on them. Okay, they're pretty simple.
Okay.
Okay.
Polygraphs are not actually 96% accurate. Otherwise, they would be admissible in court. So this is merely an attempt to intimidate Brian, and it seems to work. Next, the topic of conversation now shifts back to the topic of horror media.
Tell me about the play that.
Abellis, that's so sweet. I'm glad they contain all your love. You're so sweet. Overprotected. I'm sorry. I don't know if I said Abellis. But overprotected. You were talking to Abellis, so I might have said Abellis.
That Tori's been writing, or the movie.
Okay.
Well, there's a film festival in January, so we wanted to make a movie, and then go there and yeah. And
Did you ask Cassie to make a movie with you?
Yes, we wanted to be like the main character and stuff.
What's the movie about?
we make like a slasher flick.
What is it?
Like a slasher flick,
Okay.
like Halloween and stuff like that. Okay. And what's the theme? Tell me about the movie.
Sometimes criminals will fantasize about a crime and script it out under the cover of a movie script, play, poem, etc., to appear innocuous. The interrogator asked Brian to explain the idea for the movie in a bid to get him to admit the fantasy of the movie was acted out with lethal results. It's an effort to reassociate the suspect mentally with the crime if he is disassociating himself from the crime by using the device of the alleged movie script.
His idea was totally different than mine. Okay, let's hear yours first.
My story, there were 4 kids. You want to know the script?
Yeah, there were 4 kids, which is kind of just give us a general idea of the movie.
Okay.
Where do you got it? I mean, have you written it out yet?
No. Oh, this idea.
Just kind of yet?
Yeah. Okay. There was 4 kids and they had their parents with them.
Okay.
They drove to cabin in the mountains, you know. And let's see, I named the guy John MacArthur.
Okay.
And he's the killer guy. And let's see, yeah. And the mom and dad killed, but then they escape.
Who kills the mom and dad?
The John
MacArthur.
Yeah.
MacArthur. Okay.
Okay. And then
who's this John MacArthur guy? Is he just?
He's just a imaginary guy.
He's the manager, you said?
An imaginary.
Oh, okay. No, but in your story, how is he?
He's a
slasher guy.
Yeah, he's a slasher guy.
Where does he come from? Is he?
I don't know about that yet.
Is he just in woods like Friday the 13th, or?
I really just I don't know. Yeah.
So what? So the kids get killed too, or
no, they escape.
Okay.
Then 20 years later, they go back to the cabin.
Okay.
And they stay there, and of course, then they see him again, and that's that's why the lie really.
Okay. What about Tori's version? As you said, his is a little different. What has he told you kind of what his version is?
His version it's similar to mine, but we had to speak about the name and stuff. His is what's about the take attacks, and I think his version. I think like half of the kids get killed in his version. But
Joy, I hadn't either, and I'm still figuring it out. But you can watch a video tutorial on it and figure it out. I need to watch one. They've been telling me how to use it, and I've been working on it, but I still need to watch a video tutorial. I'm going to try to do a movie on there later today if I can figure it out. If not, then I'll have it figured out by Thanksgiving, and we'll watch the horror movie Thanksgiving. Like probably not on Thanksgiving because everybody will be on with their families, but maybe the day after or something, or the day before, we can get on there and watch it if I'm not able to do anything today.
Kill?
How the guy, of course.
But how does he kill him? What's he killing him?
Butcher knife,
Butcher knife. Okay.
Have a Halloween.
All right.
And then
does he wear a mask?
No.
What does he wear?
I don't talk about that. He wears maybe probably like a jumpsuit or something.
Like Jason?
Yeah. Well, actually, Jason wore a jumpsuit. But...
What?
Oh, but Jason didn't wear a jumpsuit.
Who wore the jumpsuit?
That was Michael Myers.
Oh, it was Michael Myers. See, he does know his shit. In Halloween, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay. So who's more bad, Michael Myers or Jason?
I like Jason more.
Okay. What about Tori?
He's more.
I think it's the 4th Thursday of November, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm a Halloween fan, and then that's Friday 13th fan.
So does Tori have a knife collection?
Oh no, he has these little throwing knives. They're about that big.
Okay.
And then it's like a pocket knife. That's all I ever saw in his house. Okay.
Tori's friend would later testify that he bought 4 knives for Brian and Tori, one serrated and the others not. He's been asked to help make the purchase at a pawn shop since he was 18. Now the interrogators will move on to touch on the boy's emotional connections to the victim, which
he is stuttering off the charts, showing how nervous he is.
Plays into the motive of why they would want to harm her in the first place.
Do you love Cassie?
Like love his friend or love
like? You kind of have a crush on her a little bit. Did you have a crush on her a little bit?
I did, and I was about to ask her out, but Matt did.
Brian would later explain that Cassie getting together with Matt struck him hard, because in his mind, it was just another affirmation that he was a loser.
I always thought that they were a bad, couple. Because he likes to smoke weed, and I don't. And Cassie hates it too. And Cassie's against doing drugs, and I'm against doing drugs, and Cassie's against doing the, like drinking alcohol and stuff, and I am too.
Right.
And I met her before Matt, and I was gonna ask her out and stuff, and then he just moves on, and
he ends up with her.
Yeah.
So
I think that's cool because they're happy together.
I mean, did he tell you about having sex with her?
Here, the interrogator is attempting to establish Brian's impulse reaction to Cassie being involved with another boy.
I remember.
Did he brag about that?
I remember I went to the bathroom when I was at their house, and there was a condom wrapper in the toilet. And I asked him about it, and he said that I had sex with her, before he came.
Did he talk dirty about her? Or?
No.
So to make you a little bit uncomfortable when you guys watch the movies with kissing and stuff like that, it was like, do I have to do that in front of me?
Thank you, Jen. I haven't seen you in a minute.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Okay. So what about Tori? Did Tori have a crush on her too? I mean, you guys kind of both like her a little bit?
No.
Okay.
No, he was more friends with her.
Okay.
But Tori told us he liked her.
It's unclear if the interrogators are lying to get a reaction, or if Tori said this in his unrecorded initial interview. as Tori never stated this during his taped interrogation.
That he went out, he went to a movie with her and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we really saw the Hillside Vibes previously.
Okay, but I mean, he said that he felt pretty much the same way that you did.
I did not know that.
Well, I wouldn't be sharing that with him, okay? But that's what he's saying.
I didn't know that, Cassie.
Tori actually let it slip in his interrogation that he hated Matt at one time.
Did you know that Matt, her boyfriend, was going to be there too?
Yes.
So, and you're also familiar with him?
Yes.
Friends with him?
Mm-hmm. I hated him last year.
Okay.
And then I didn't really hate him. I didn't really know him.
Right.
I just disliked it at school.
Disliked him because?
I don't know. It's a lot of things.
Just the way he acted, or?
He annoyed me pretty much.
Fair enough.
He even makes a point to say that Matt wanted to spend the night, but Tori didn't want that.
Matt wanted to know if he could come with us, and me and Brian.
At that time?
Yeah,
right there?
and we said that he wanted to stay the night at my house. And I said I should ask my mom first. And I told him that I should tell my mom, ask my mom in person rather than over the phone. I was never really wanting him to stay the night.
The way Brian and Tori talk about Cassie and her boyfriend speaks for itself. Perhaps they had a sort of, if I can't have you, no one can mindset.
Then we happen to find out that you're in the area of her house. Not only you guys in the area of her house, but you guys are wearing gloves.
Yeah, no surprise.
Okay, so, and then, oh yeah, by the way, I mean, just so happens, Cassie ends up dead, and she's been stabbed. Okay.
What usually happens on things like this is, guys like you come in
and you've already put yourself at the scene of the crime.
Straight up, you tell the truth. And maybe you hold back a little bit more because you don't want to go all the way, then somebody else that we interview comes in, i.e. Tori, he comes in and gets up, leaves a guy like you in the cold. And then you're like, dang it, I should have been up front first. You know what I mean?
With what?
About killing Cassie.
I can't be.
I'm concerned about that. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting here accusing you, but I got to tell you that I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned you had something to do with it.
The interrogators are now using soft and caring tones to play the friend role and put the suspect at ease, while launching into the prisoner game with Brian. Who will rat out the other person first for a lesser punishment? That's the question they're trying to stick in his head. Police often employ this tactic when there are multiple suspects, and they are unclear about who the guilty party is among the group of suspects. There is an enticement that we will go easier on you if you just tell us the whole truth before someone else does. The problem is that charging decisions are not up to the police. A district attorney makes that decision, and that decision is vetted by the court in pretrial hearings or preliminary hearings.
Yeah, I'm saying okay because your story's not washing, bro. It's just not working for us. It's not working.
This is the truth. This isn't a story. This is the truth. This
okay, the last time you told us this was the truth. It wasn't a story. You can put it on paper, man.
But I didn't.
Oh, okay, Jeannie.
The interrogator is indicating that Brian now has no credibility because he lied about the events prior to the murder. This is where they try to finally break him down into telling the actual truth.
My parents said I was going to do cars.
But so you didn't want us to solve Cassie's homicide then because you didn't really care enough about that to tell us the truth up front. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you understand where we're going with this?
Yeah,
Remember I told you that night? I said, if any time in your life, this is the time you need to tell the truth.
Yes, I should have told you about the cars then.
But if there's something else?
No.
You need to tell us. You went back in the house and you played a prank.
Are you sure?
No, we didn't pull anything.
All right, man.
You're not turning the lights off.
No.
You're not playing with the lights. You're not messing with them. You're not doing that kind of stuff.
No.
You go back.
I mean, you're not getting into the trying to scare them, just screwing around, spooking with them, and then you guys get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens or no?
No, it did not happen.
Okay. All right. And you're going to pass a polygraph when we ask you?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And we have a promise from you that there is no more lies, right?
No, this is it. This is it. I don't know why you even think I would kill my friend.
Come on.
It could happen. I mean, you get wrapped up in movies. You get wrapped up in movies. You get wrapped up in all this culture.
You say something like that.
The interrogator is tying the fantasy of horror movies into action in real life. He'll now switch to playing bad cop to apply pressure.
Honestly, we've got to wonder. I've got to get through those things. You guys are like heavy into this stuff. It's not like you haven't seen it before, like in movies.
You're sitting there in disbelief wondering, how the hell could they be thinking this?
But you watch this stuff all the time.
I've lied to them. I'm wearing fucking gloves. You know? Dude, you gotta see. You gotta understand where we're coming from.
I understand what you're saying, yes, I guess.
Do you know, I mean,
well, you're good,
you guys are making this tough for us.
Yeah.
Because when we catch the person,
I really am interested in how much he's stuttering and lying and just watching the cops catch him in all of his lies.
And we are going to catch them, the people.
Okay.
Then you guys have muddied the waters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? No, it's not just I mean, that's not good. Okay? That's not a good thing at all. You need to get into a car.
But we all do sometimes.
And you
You're
need
good,
to show
love.
us. what houses you went to.
The interrogator is telling Brian what he has to do to prove his innocence. This is a classic pressure technique.
That's what
I
needs
can't
to happen.
exactly like say exactly what
And dude, you're not putting yourself in a very favorable position in this investigation.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
A classic pressure technique is shown here. In reality,
actually, it's funny you say that, Joy, because I've got a child inside until after lunch right now for saying that it's, damn it, it's pretty outside. And I heard her and I said, no, ma'am, you got to come in till after lunch for saying that cuss word. So I've got one in trouble right now.
Brian merely needs to get a lawyer and stop talking at this point. When left alone, we can clearly see Brian beginning to break. The first thing Brian asks the returning interrogators is how his parents are reacting, just showing us how juvenile he really is, despite his horrible crimes.
Well, I mean, you can talk to
We just talked to them. You're going to go back out here in a second.
You want to talk to
them? You know, they're supporting you. They're supporting you. They're supporting you. They want what we want. They want to get you out from underneath something. If it is, they're totally 100% supportive. We're a team. And you've got great parents, man. I'm telling you. And you already know that, but they're willing to stand beside you and support you on this thing. But like I said, this car burglary thing's not an issue.
Despite Brian's brief relief, the interrogators are quick to let him know he's not out of the woods yet. They know he's not telling the whole truth. At this point, the interrogation has been going on for a good while, and part of their strategy is to psychologically wear Brian down. They know he wants the process to end, and often a suspect will think that a confession of some sort, even to a lesser crime, will bring the unenjoyable experience to a close.
I mean, John and I have both been doing this for 20 years. Okay? We've both been doing this a very long time. I've been sitting in these rooms
hey, y'all.
many times over
I hate to
and
do
over
this,
and over. And I'm not.
But I've got to catch a ride to the store, and my ride is leaving right now. So I'm going to have to stop this here. If I can come back this afternoon, I will, and we will finish this. I am so sorry. I'm going to have to end this stream like right now because she's waiting on me. I'm really sorry, but I do have to go because I have to go to the store real quick. I will try to come back and finish this. I'll set it for like an hour from now. I'm so sorry. I will be back though. We'll be back and we'll finish the rest of this. Thank you for being here. If you haven't, please hit the like button, and we'll be back later this afternoon. Maybe I'll schedule it out for a little bit later to give you guys some time to do some things, and then we'll finish this out maybe for like 2 or 3 hours from now. I'd say I'll definitely be back. Thank you guys for being here, and I will be back. Like I said, please hit the like and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all in a little bit.